Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. Global Martial Arts. Kill enemies and explode your cultivation. Chapter 41. Born to be a saint. Actually born to be a saint. What does it mean to be born holy? Is Li Mu a saint? Born to be a saint, as long as Li Mu does not perish, he will become a saint in this life. Hiss. Everyone's eyes widened when they heard this, and their minds went blank. The saint stands in the starry sky, a giant in the starry sky. In the moment he raises his hand, the sky and the earth collapse, and the mountains and rivers are destroyed. Even the most terrifying nuclear weapons in the world will turn into nothing in the palm of the saint's hand. The saint is undoubtedly the most powerful. In the center of the holy court, the Galaxy Hall. Several huge auras spread throughout the hall, and illusory people gathered in the hall. If they were here, they would probably be scared out of their wits when they saw these people. Because these people are all sages fighting in the starry sky. Born to be a saint. This era can finally produce another saint. Do you know the origin of Li Mu? I checked his background, but the only thing that is surprising is his father. Although there is a record, he seems to have disappeared from the world. Has such a terrifying talent from an ordinary background. Could it be that he is a child born from martial arts? Okay, stop making trouble. The old man sitting in the upper seat spoke in a deep voice. Only then did the hall become quiet. Remember to block the news and never let this news get out. Once those guys know it, they will kill Li Mu at all costs. Everyone's expressions darkened, and they all nodded solemnly. Li Mu, who was in the battle room at this time, suddenly shook his body, as if there was a force pouring into him. In an instant, Li Mu's aura reached a breakthrough level. 8 stars of martial arts. Li Mu looked stunned and did not come back to his senses. Is this a breakthrough? After walking out of the battle room, Li Mu found that the people outside were looking at him with fear on their faces. Not to the point. Isn't he just making a list? Do these people look at him like this? He hasn't shown his full strength yet. If they knew I hadn't used all my strength yet, wouldn't they faint from fear? Brother Mu. Just as Li Mu was about to leave, suddenly a smile on the face of a person in the crowd on the left was brighter than a chrysanthemum. Who are you? Li Mu looked at the man in confusion. In an instant, the man raised his head and said seriously, Brother Mu, my name is He Ming. I want to ask a question. Brother Mu, will you take in your younger brother? Grass. In an instant, the stunned people around him all reacted. Being born a saint, being by the side of a saint is an absolute honor for one's ancestors. Why didn't I react? That guy He Ming took it for a bargain. I really didn't expect that guy to be so dull on weekdays, but I didn't expect him to be so smart. If Li Mu really accepts him as his younger brother, won't we have to go around him in the future? Li Mu rolled his eyes. He thought He Ming was going to say something. Take in a younger brother. Li Mu doesn't have that interest. What he needs is to find someone to fight and hunt ferocious beasts. No interest, brother, you should go back. Hey Brother Mu, think about it again, I can wash clothes, cook, and I can even warm the bed. Li Mu, who had just reached the door, suddenly staggered and almost fell to the ground. Nima, you can talk about bed warming. What's the point of me asking you, a grown man, to warm the bed? It turns out that there are not only monsters and evildoers in the holy court, but also perverts. Run quickly, run quickly. Hey, no matter how hard I try, I can't bring Brother Mu back. He Ming looked heartbroken, making everyone around him feel sick. At the same time, the changes in the Shanghai list spread throughout the Holy Academy, and the news about Li Mu spread more and more widely, becoming more and more mysterious. What the hell? I have 8 heads and 16 arms. Isn't this a joke? Is that still a human being? Li Mu was even speechless after hearing the rumors outside. The rumors became more and more mysterious. If this continues, I will become a monster. Aren't these people in the holy court cultivators? Li Mu complained, changed his clothes and went out. At the same time, the heart refining pond. The expressions on the faces of the students standing on the lotus leaves varied, and many of them had hideous and painful expressions. Lianshin pond is just as its name suggests. What is being refined is the heart. When you step into the heart refining pond, all kinds of illusions will appear. What you like, what you don't like, and what you fear will appear before your eyes. If you can't hold it up, you will fly out of the heart refining pond. There are 12 lotus leaves in the Lianshin pond, and the current record in the Holy Academy is 10. To date, this record has not been broken. No one has broken the record left by Wind War God. Nonsense, what kind of character is Wind War God? Now Wind War God has become a saint. It is said that he holds great power in the Galaxy Federation. It is said that in the battle not long ago, the God of War killed an alien saint. Hiss, kill the saint. It's unimaginable. So it's not that easy to break Feng War God's record, unless someone even more evil than Feng War God appears. More evil than the God of War. Do you think Li Mu is possible? In an instant, the surroundings fell into dead silence. The name Li Mu was now known to everyone in the Holy Court. Born to be a saint, these 4 words have made many people breathless. Maybe it's possible, one of them said uncertainly. At this moment, an unhappy voice came out. Breaking the record of the God of War. He deserves it too. At this moment, a man in a trench coat followed Shengguan Reichen onto the heart refining pond. The will honed in the heart refining pond, no matter how talented Li Mu is, his will cannot be changed. It's true that he was born a saint, but if he doesn't have a strong will, even if he becomes a saint, he is still rubbish among saints. Yang Ke looked cold and belittled Li Mu without any scruples. Shengguan Reichen next to him looked calm and showed no intention of stopping him at all. Everyone around was silent. Neither Shengguan Reichen nor Li Mu could afford to offend them, so they might as well just keep their mouths shut. Why are cats and dogs talking about your grandpa? At this time, Li Mu's figure appeared in everyone's eyes. Everyone's hearts were suddenly shocked. Li Mu actually came too. It's lively now. Shengguan Reichen looked at Li Mu with cold eyes, and the malice surged towards Li Mu like a tide. Such great malice. Li Mu's expression changed slightly, his eyes locked on Shengguan Reichen. Seeing this scene, an invisible pressure filled the heart refining pond, and everyone felt like a huge boulder was pressing down on their bodies, making them unable to move. If these 2 people met, it would definitely be a fight between dragons and tigers. Are you Li Mu? Yang Ke looked coldly. Well, why are you looking for your grandpa? Li Mu said nonchalantly. Yang Ke had a ferocious look on his face and squeezed out a few words through his teeth. You're looking for death. Li Mu, if you have the ability, go to the battle room. Do you think I won't tear your mouth apart? Okay, but I won't fight with unknown people. Have you made it to the Shanghai ranking? Hearing Li Mu's contemptuous tone, Yang Ke's face turned blue. Rank 39 on the Mountain and Sea ranking. Oh, it's still 39, just so. Okay, take your grandpa away. Everyone saw the corners of Li Mu's mouth twitching slightly, but they didn't expect that Li Mu was also a talkative master. Who do you think will win, Yang Ke or Li Mu? The people around looked at the 2 people in the battle room and started a heated discussion. I think it should be Li Mu. Although Yang Ke is an 8-star martial artist, don't forget that Li Mu has Yuan power. Indeed, having Yuan power in the martial arts realm is just a cheat. Yang Ke is miserable. Yang Ke looked gloomy, and he wanted to kill Li Mu at this moment. I'm going to tear your mouth apart. Yang Ke shouted and rushed away. A huge flame cloud enveloped the battle room. Yanyan spirit body. The oncoming hot temperature did not waver Li Mu. He raised his hand to form a seal with one hand, and the mountain and sea seal suddenly suppressed it. The terrifying Yuan power was raging, and the great seal of mountains and seas turned into mountains and seas, and the flame clouds were extinguished in an instant. It was like the power of a mountain crushing down, leaving Yang Ke breathless. Ah, this kind of thing. I can stop it. Get out of here. Yang Ke's blood boiled, and the pressure of the 8-star martial artist was raging. But the gap in Yuanli was irreparable, and it only made Yang Ke kneel on the ground with his legs a little stronger. Too strong. The 2 people are not from the same dimension at all. There is a world of difference between a warrior with Yuan power and a warrior without Yuan power. I think Li Mu is qualified to be in the top 10 of the Shanghai ranking. Top 10. Keep it conservative. He is a born saint. I think top 5 is possible. Hiss. Top 5. Just when some people wanted to say something, suddenly a cold chill spread all over their bodies. Only then did they notice the cold-faced Shengguan Reichen on the side. They shuddered a few times and quickly closed their mouths. Pap pap pap. Several slaps were slapped on Yang Ke's face. At this time, Yang Kei's face was swollen like a pig's head, and there was a trace of cracking at the corner of his mouth. Tear my mouth apart. I'm sorry. It seems you don't have the strength. The raging storm subsided, and Yang Kei was unable to hold on and passed out. Congratulations on defeating Yang Kei and losing 3 years of cultivation. The breath soared. Li Mu is only 1 step away from the 8-star peak. Li Mu won. It's too strong. The strength of warriors with Yuanli is not on the same level at all. Do you think Li Mu has the strength to rival a grandmaster? It shouldn't be possible. Although there is Yuan power, there must be a gap in quality. If it can match the grandmaster is too worthless. Li Mu walked out of the battle room and glanced at Shangguan Reichen lightly. Don't you think this is too much? Shangguan Reichen looked at Li Mu with a gloomy expression. Excessive. On the contrary, I think I was lenient. Since you are the master, take care of your people. Don't even know if the dogs around you have brought back shit. Li Mu sneered, as if he was mocking Shangguan Reichen. Suddenly, a majestic pressure swept out from Shangguan Reichen. Bloodline coercion swept across all directions, and heaven-level visions enveloped the hard refining pond. Dragon. I heard that Shangguan Reichen's bloodline is related to dragons, but I didn't expect it to be true. I don't know whose bloodline is more powerful, Li Mu or Shangguan Reichen. Dragon. Although it is a dragon, it is still a mythical creature anyway. I'm afraid Shangguan Reichen's bloodline is stronger. There was discussion all around. The pinnacle of martial arts. Li Mu's pupils suddenly shrank. This Shangguan Reichen is really not simple, his bloodline is actually related to the dragon. But he also has a thin dragon bloodline in his body, which one is stronger and which one is weaker is not yet certain. You want to take action too? Li Mu looked fearless. Shangguan Reichen had a cold face. Anyone who knew him well knew that Shangguan Reichen was particularly terrifying in this state. Suddenly, the terrifying pressure receded, and the people around him finally took a breath. The battle between mountains and seas. I'm waiting for you. Shangguan Reichen snorted and left the hard refining forest. Li Mu glanced at Yang Kei inside and shook his head. If you act like a dog to others, you will end up not caring about you at all. Never mind. Li Mu focused his attention on the hard refining pond and jumped onto the lotus leaf. Li Mu starts. Looking around, everyone was looking forward to whether Li Mu could break Feng War God's record. Is this the hard refining pond? Where's the fantasy? Why don't you feel anything? Li Mu looked around and saw no illusions. Could it be that the leaves are wrong? Li Mu walked through the lotus leaves easily. Everyone gasped after seeing this and looked at Li Mu in shock. It's already the 8th film. Why does Li Mu look so relaxed? Could it be that the hard refining pond has failed? Why do I feel like he didn't see the fantasy at all? I'll go up and try. One of them jumped into the hard refining pond to test it himself. But the man paused as soon as he entered the hard refining pond. It looks like it didn't work. Oh my god, this is so evil. Did Li Mu break out just after he entered the fantasy? Then this is too terrifying. How terrifying is his will? This is too boring. Li Mu lost interest and reached the opposite side of the hard refining pond in a few clicks. For a moment, the entire hard refining pond fell into deathly silence, and everyone looked at Li Mu in dumbfounded shock. When Li Mu was about to leave, suddenly, strange phenomena appeared all over the Lianxin pond. The Lianxin pond, which had never had lotuses before, actually bloomed with beautiful lotus flowers at this moment. In the center of the hard refining pool, golden light shines, and vortexes gather in the center of the pool. Suddenly a golden thing fell into Li Mu's hand. Li Mu took a closer look and it turned out to be a lotus platform. The majestic surging energy of the lotus platform made Li Mu's expression change slightly. Having such energy is absolutely extraordinary. Li Mu put the lotus away and left without saying a word. Everyone was stunned for a long time, and when they came back to their senses, they exploded instantly. 12 pieces. A total of 12 pieces. Li Mu broke the record of the god of war. And he also got an incredible treasure. The gold content of being born a saint. Does Mr. Li Mu still lack an idiot around him? I am willing to be a fool. Looking at your potential, the only person who can be Li Mu's big loser is me. In the dimensional space of the Holy Court, all the ancient and powerful warriors fell silent. This kid is incredible. Back then, The god of war only made it to the 10th level, and it took 3 days and 3 nights. It only takes less than a minute for this child to get from the starting point to the other side. There are successors. With these children, maybe one day we can get rid of the current situation. After all, we don't have much time. Soon, the news that Li Mu broke the record spread throughout the Holy Academy. Everyone couldn't believe the news. It wasn't until they went to Lianshin Pond in person to see the record monument that they saw Li Mu's terror with their own eyes. The goddess shepherd has become a legend within 1 month of entering the school. I declare that I will be the goddess's first loser in the future. Get out of the way. You're worthy of it, so if you ask me, it's me anyway. Hey, is there anyone in the Mu Shen support group? Now there is no limit to the number of places. If you want to join, hurry up. If you join us, you can get a photo of Mu Shen's private room. What? There are private photos? Does the shepherd still do this? Don't listen to their nonsense. They were all secretly photographed. It's going to be hard for them if a real person comes to visit you for any private photos. In Shengwu Square, there were constant discussions, most of which were about news related to Li Mu. Master, the Divine Martial Tower is opened. In the Scientific Research Institute, Xie Given looked at the Golden Lotus platform with excited eyes. Treasure. This is the real treasure. Seeing Xie Given's excited look, Li Mu asked curiously, Teacher, what on earth is this? Xie Given's face turned pale, but he still said in a trembling voice, if you look at Kyushu in terms of value alone, it would be difficult to find such a treasure if you look at the entire starry sky. I'm afraid this lotus platform is related to the legendary artifact. Artifact? Li Mu was horrified. He had read in a textbook that Lingwu was just a spiritual treasure, while weapons on the upper level were called martial arts treasures. Above this is the sacred weapon, and above the sacred weapon is the sacred weapon. It is said that artifacts possess the power of gods, and possessing artifacts can even peer into the realm of gods. I didn't expect that this lotus platform would be related to a divine weapon. What do you mean by teacher specifically? Li Mu asked in more detail. Xie Given pushed up his glasses and said solemnly, this is most likely the material for casting artifacts. You must not show this thing to outsiders, even the people you are most familiar with. People outside don't know the value of this thing now. Once people know that it is related to the artifact, the consequences will be disastrous. Li Mu took a breath and looked straight at the lotus platform. It is actually the material for casting artifacts. Is the heart refining pond something from Kyushu? A few days later, in the ancient secret realm, bloody shadows shuttled through the secret realm, and everyone's eyes were filled with fear after seeing it. This is already the 3rd day. How long will he kill? He is already number 1 in the secret realm rankings. I really don't understand why he has so much hatred for the ferocious beasts. If he continues like this, he will kill all the ferocious beasts in the ancient secret realm. Everyone looked at the bloody shadow in disgust. Under a burst of sword light, a ferocious beast's head flew high into the sky. Congratulations on killing the bloodthirsty ape and losing 3 years of cultivation. With the improved aura, Li Mu's cultivation has always remained at the peak of martial arts. Li Mu let out a breath. It should be only 1 step away from a breakthrough. Just kill 1 more. The martial arts realm is not far away from me. Li Mu walked towards the dense jungle and soon found himself on the river bank not far away. A huge rhinoceros with lines all over its body like flowing lava was drinking water by the river. 4th level ferocious beast, mad flame ancient rhinoceros. The sound of vegetation moving slightly disturbed Kuangyan ancient rhinoceros who was drinking water. The crazy flame ancient rhinoceros turned around and saw Li Mu hiding in the grass. He roared and the flames beneath his feet jumped towards Li Mu. The oncoming blazing temperature made Li Mu's expression change. He jumped up like a comet rising into the sky, with thunder and light blooming around him. Then he turned into a bolt of lightning and struck at the mad flame ancient rhinoceros with 1 strike. The mad flame ancient rhinoceros was boiling with flames, and the blazing flames twisted the void. Li Mu was bathed in the flames, his whole body burning red. Several huge fire bombs flew towards Li Mu. Flames were burning all around, and soon a raging fire broke out nearby. Smoke shrouded the secret realm, and the students who had just entered the secret realm were confused. Who sets the mountain on fire in the secret realm? Who? Li Mu wiped his face and wiped away the dust on his face. Beasts are really tricky. At this moment, Li Mu no longer had any remaining strength. Tear. A muffled thunder exploded, and the lightning exploded all around, as if there was a real thunder falling from the sky. Kuangyan ancient rhinoceros stiffened and fell to the ground. Li Mu pulled out the dagger stuck in his head. Congratulations on killing the mad flame ancient rhinoceros, losing 3 years of cultivation, and acquiring the bloodline of the ancient rhinoceros. A wave of air exploded under his feet. Li Mu's aura was rising steadily, and the vision of golden thunder and lightning lingered around him. In an instant, there was a loud explosion, and the loess beneath his feet collapsed. The river on the opposite side also had waves. Li Mu's blood boiled all over and he stretched his muscles for a while. A martial artist. Yuanli and strength have more than doubled, and Tianlei Flash seems to have become a lot more proficient, but there is still a long way to go before the perfect state. However, the level 9 martial arts proficiency level is enough. Even this earth level martial arts is still at the peak of beginners and has never reached proficiency. 3 days, there are still 2 days before the Shenwu Tower opens. Li Mu planned to stay in the secret realm for 1 more day before leaving. The Shenwu Pagoda Holy Courtyard will be opened once a year, and there are many wills left by powerful warriors inside. Some of the masters are extremely powerful beings among the masters. In addition to the masters, the venerables and even saints who graduated from the Holy Academy also left behind martial arts will. These martial arts wills will be transformed into substitutes in the Shenwu Tower. As long as you defeat them, you can get the rewards from the Shenwu Tower, as well as the martial arts will left by these strong men. In 1 day, Li Mu hunted countless ferocious beasts, and his cultivation level also rose to the 4th star of martial arts. The mountain and sea seal of the earth level martial arts that has never been able to break through has also successfully entered the realm of mastery. His strength has soared greatly, and there are only a handful of people in the holy court who can match him. I don't know if he can stand in front of Yao Yao for a while now. The next day, the Shenwu Tower opened. Li Mu changed his clothes and rushed to the Shenwu Tower in the flying arc. In the central sacred square, the Shenwu Tower submerged into the sky and was hidden in the clouds. The towering Shenwu Tower seemed to be connected with the sky. The square was crowded with people, and Li Mu looked around. Suddenly a petite figure appeared beside him. Yao Yao. Li Mu looked at the people around him in surprise. Yao Yao smiled and said, "Little junior brother, come with me." Li Mu followed Yao Yao to a spacious venue, where there were other students with extraordinary temperaments and powerful auras. "Teacher, I brought my junior brother here." Yao Yao shouted towards Jia Given with a smile. Li Mu looked around and asked, "Sister, why don't we stay with others?" "Junior brother, since you are a strong person on the Shanghai ranking, you will not stay with them. The Holy Court has always valued strength, and the people here are all famous people on the list." "Are they all people on the Shanghai list?" Li Mu took a look. No wonder the auras of these people were very powerful. But has that guy recovered from his injuries? At this time, Li Mu noticed Yang Ke with a vicious look. The other person's look made him want to eat him alive. What a pity. I can only think about it. Yang Ke is so powerful that he will never be able to take revenge in this life. Suddenly, Li Mu suddenly noticed a person walking towards him. The man was wearing blood-colored clothes, and he was greeted by an extremely cold air. The man's eyes were blood-colored, and as soon as he got closer, he felt as if he had stepped out of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. "Li Mu, after the Shenwu Tower is over, I want you to fight with me," Shui Kuang said with deep eyes and a cold tone. "Hey blood maniac, do you want to bully my junior brother? I tell you that my junior brother is protected by me. None of you can bully him." Yao Yao held up his little pink fist and looked like he was going to hit someone. Shui Kuang looked at Yao Yao with a flash of fear in his eyes. "Ranking of mountains and seas, where do you rank?" Li Mu asked, looking at Shui Kuang. 10th. As soon as he finished speaking, Li Mu responded quickly. "Okay, I promise you." After Shui Kuang left, Xie Given walked over slowly. Blood Madness can reach 10th place on the Shanghai ranking. His strength is not comparable to that of Yang Ken before. His physique becomes stronger as he fights, and once the battle turns into a frenzy, he may enter a frenzied state due to physical problems. Go crazy. Li Mu looked puzzled. The blood-crazed domination physique will become stronger as time goes by. People with this physique are naturally suitable for living in a world of blood and sea. Only fighting can allow them to maximize their dominance. A physique that makes you braver as you fight. This was the first time he heard of it. Having said that, defeating the opponent should be able to drop physical fitness. All the students from the Holy Academy gathered in the central square, and you could see the sea of people. At this time, the wind and clouds surged above the clouds, a pressure fell from the sky, and an old man fell from the clouds. Stepping on the void, the surrounding space is undulating. Seeing this scene, Li Mu's expression changed slightly. The only one who can affect the space is the venerable. Teacher, who is that? Li Mu looked at the old man and asked softly. One of the 5 pavilion elders, the 5th grade venerable is called Hai Lao. 5th grade venerable. Li Mu took a breath. The 5th grade venerable is already an extremely powerful man, and can destroy a city with just a raise of his hand. Among them, reaching the realm of the venerable, a strong person of this level is no different from a god to most people. Hai Lao raised his hand to release the restriction, and the energy fluctuations from the Shenwu Tower rushed into the sky. The Shenwu Pagoda is open today for 1 month. I hope you can gain something. The void corridor opened wide, and countless students rushed up. Junior brother, let's go too. Yao Yao shouted towards Li Mu. Li Mu nodded and entered the Shengwu Tower with Yao Yao. Xie Given looked at Li Mu's leaving figure and couldn't help but murmured. I wonder if you can create another miracle and break the record. Back then, the god of war broke into the 80th floor of the divine martial tower and was baptized by the stars. Since then, a heaven-level martial arts was born. Is this the Shenwu Tower? Li Mu looked at the old environment around him and suddenly noticed the starlight gathering above. The starlight condensed into a figure and appeared, and the oncoming pressure was washed away. Martial arts will. As soon as he finished speaking, the figure transformed by martial arts will rushed towards Li Mu. A flash of sword light flashed, and the stiff will of martial arts gradually collapsed on the spot. The martial arts figure turned into starlight and entered Li Mu's body. Qi and blood boiled, turning into wind and waves and exploding. Increasing qi and blood, there is also a method for speeding up boxing. It's a pity, it has no effect on me. In the blink of an eye, the space vibrated, and the next second Li Mu was disconnected from the surrounding space and reached the 2nd floor. Looking at the figure, Li Mu showed a smile on his lips. The breakthrough begins. 1 person and 1 sword, the violent sword intent raged, and the avatars transformed by the martial arts will collapsed one after another. The willpower left by those powerful warriors could not last even 1 round in front of Li Mu. It's not that these martial arts wills are too weak, but that Li Mu is too perverted. Even among these masters who have left behind the will of martial arts, very few of them have reached the level of mastery or perfection in martial arts. Those who can reach the perfect state of martial arts are not masters, at least they are at the Grand Master level. Who among these martial arts wills can possess the coercion of a Grand Master? But they don't have the strength of a Grand Master. Otherwise, not many students would be able to break through this Shenwu Tower. At this time, Li Mu had reached the 10th floor, and after several encounters, the martial arts will was easily killed by him. Hey, the energy and blood have indeed increased significantly, but the cultivation level has not changed at all. These divine pills are of no use to me. It would be great if these martial arts wills also meet the system conditions. On the 11th floor, Li Mu still easily solved it with just a few face-to-face encounters. At the same time, people outside also noticed Li Mu's speed. As expected of the god of Shepherd, he has already reached the 11th floor. This is the first time I've seen someone enter the 11th floor so quickly after entering the Shenwu Tower. TCH, that's because you were ignorant. Feng War God was also a freshman when he entered school, and the records of Shenwu Tower are still left by Feng War God. Then have you seen the Wind War God? No, then you're talking nonsense. The senior officials of the Holy Academy looked at the ranking of each student in the huge observation room. It's unimaginable that Li Mu entered the 11th level so quickly. Yes, his strength is already comparable to those in the top 10 of the Shanghai ranking. Maybe Li Mu is not using yuan power at this speed now. Don't forget that the martial arts will substitutes on the 1st to 50th floors of the Shenwu Tower have no yuan power. It's unheard of to condense yuanli seeds in the martial arts realm. Wind War God didn't do it back then either. This child has broken the record of the heart-refining pond. I wonder if he can break the myth created by the Wind War God this time. The senior officials of the Holy Academy here are looking forward to Li Mu's performance. Not long after, Li Mu quickly arrived at the 20th floor. The 20-level martial arts will was left by the Grand Master. Feeling the Grand Master's pressure, Li Mu's expression remained unafraid. After several rounds of fighting, Li Mu still killed the Grand Master with his own hands. The martial arts will was absorbed into Li Mu's body. Soon, Li Mu had some ideas about the practice of sword intention in his mind. The sword's intention can be transformed into various attacks. Even if the sword is not used, the sword's energy can still be used. A look of shock flashed in Li Mu's eyes. It seems that my understanding of the sword's intention is still too little. After being distracted for a brief moment, Li Mu got involved in the battle again. 21 floors, 25th floor, 30 floors, 35. Li Mu sped up and quickly broke into the 40th floor. Now everyone was not calm, and the students who came out of the Shenwu Tower looked even more horrified. Oh my God, why did the shepherd break into the 40th floor as soon as he came out? Is the shepherd still a human? Could he be the reincarnation of a vicious beast? Who said before that the fawn would fall off the altar? What about people? Stand up and speak. Outside, Li Mu's fans actively protected him. At the same time, Li Mu in the tower was like a tireless ferocious beast, and his ferocious energy and blood even overwhelmed the Grand Master's pressure. The effect brought by the increase in qi and blood was beyond Li Mu's expectation. Although his cultivation level has not increased, his strength has more than doubled. In addition, those pills he obtained are indeed precious rewards for others. Zheng. In the tower, the shadow of the sword surged, but Li Mu nimbly dodged it and eliminated the double with a lightning flash. Sword intent is of no use to me. Li Mu was a little confused. It was already on the 49th floor, why didn't anyone show up with a knife? Entering the 50th floor, his eyes suddenly lit up when he saw the stand-in Li Mu holding a knife. It's finally here. But this time the stand-in was different. The stand-in was sharp and looked at Li Mu as if it had life. My name is Tian Dao, the pinnacle of Grand Master. Li Mu was very surprised. At this moment, a sword intent capable of cutting off everything swept out. Okay, you're the one waiting. Li Mu rushed forward with excitement on his face. His thunder sword intent burst out, and the sword fell with lightning and wreaked havoc. The heavenly sword held the handle with an expressionless face, and slashed out in an instant, destroying everything with its violent sword intent. The light of the sword spread all over the place, and the destruction of the sword left behind terrifying outlines on the surrounding rock walls. Crazy thunder sword technique. Li Mu then stabbed him one after another. Like thunder falling from the sky, dense thunder and lightning skill surged, and a powerful knife struck out. The lightning exploded, like a thunder pillar falling from the sky. Smoke and dust flew up, and gravel flew everywhere. The heavenly sword fell on his arm and gradually dissipated. Martial arts will poured into Li Mu's mind. In an instant, Li Mu seemed to see a person holding a magic knife, splitting the cliff and cutting off the waterfall. I have a sword that can equal the sky. The heavenly sword that comes to mind is full of vigor, defeating countless strong men with just one sword. Li Mu smiled after digesting it. This is the benefit of martial arts will. In the blink of an eye, Li Mu arrived at the 51st floor. This time he faced another peak Grand Master. Li Mu moved forward without hesitation, raising his knife and facing him. As time goes by, more and more people are eliminated from the Shenwu Tower. Many people returned to the square. Their expressions changed as they watched the rankings. The blood maniac has already reached the 40th floor. He is worthy of being the 10th person on the mountain and sea ranking. How did these people rush up? The pressure I feel facing the martial arts will of my seniors is indescribable. Maybe this is the real monster. By the way, does anyone care about the current ranking of the shepherd? Li Mu can now be said to be the focus of the Holy Academy. No matter where you go, you can hear people discussing Li Mu. Let me take a look. One of them looked for Li Mu's name carefully, and suddenly his eyes shook, and his expression became very exaggerated. Hey, what's wrong with you? The companion next to him noticed it and asked hurriedly. The man's face turned red and he said excitedly, "Shepherd. He has reached the 59th floor. What? 59th floor? Everyone was shocked and looked around hurriedly when their ranking changed again. At this time, Li Mu had reached the 60th floor. Everyone seemed to have forgotten to breathe, their expressions were extremely shocked, and the square fell into dead silence for a short time. Tutor ballroom. Xie Given also fell silent when he saw Li Mu reaching the 60th floor. According to the records of the Holy Academy, the Wind War god back then didn't seem to be that fast. Old solution. I regret it. Why did you take advantage of this kid? Several instructors looked at Xie Given with envy. Xie Given smiled faintly. I can't help it, although I have a good student. Why, all of your students are perverts. Forget it about those two boys, but you brought back Yao Yao. Forget it, now you bring back Li Mu. Several instructors couldn't help but murmured as they looked at the changes in the ranking of Shenwu Tower. That boy Li Mu has a bright future. I was born a saint, so why do you need to say that? Seeing the constant changes in Li Mu's ranking, the senior leaders of the Holy Academy and even the venerables began to breathe rapidly. A miracle is about to happen. The students who had just come out of the Shenwu Tower looked puzzled when they saw the shocked expressions on the others' faces. Hey brothers, what's wrong with you? Hush, stop making noise. The fawn is going to create a miracle. Li Mu. Everyone took a look at the rankings, and their faces instantly showed shock. Oh my god, 79 floors. At this time, everyone could not hide their excitement and felt extremely nervous. 80 floors. The record set by Feng Zhanshan back then. Can Li Mu get there smoothly? Finally, under the gaze of his master, Li Mu's ranking changed. 80 floors. The fawn has reached 80%. Fawn. God forever. Sao Nimas. Whoever dares to speak ill of the shepherd behind his back in the future, believe it or not, I will kill him. Following the excited voices of everyone, Shengguan Reichen's face became extremely gloomy as he came out of the Shenwu Tower. Li Mu. Inside the tower, Li Mu looked blankly at the starry sky-like scene around him. Is this the 80th floor? As soon as the words fell, the surrounding space was turbulent, and a coercion like the might of heaven swept out. In an instant, Li Mu's complexion changed drastically, and the power of his blood surged. Various visions protect Li Mu. The surrounding starlight turned into martial arts will and condensed into a figure. The man was holding a long sword, and his temperament was extraordinary and holy, as if he should not exist in the mortal world, but a star in the sky. Li Mu's expression changed drastically with an ordinary sword strike. In an instant, the wind and clouds surged, as if the sword energy of destruction and disaster swept over. Li Mu shouted loudly, his energy surged, and the great seal of mountains and seas descended from the sky to suppress the sword energy. Huge wind and waves hit the surrounding space, and even the Grand Master would change his color in the face of its power. After a stalemate for a while, the void suddenly exploded. With a flash of lightning, Li Mu attacked the substitute. The substitute's strength was beyond Li Mu's imagination, and just one sword gave him a power that could split mountains and seas. This coercion was different from the supreme stand he had faced before. This is a saint. Li Mu's combat power was at full strength, unleashing his power without reservation. The shaking fist shakes the void, and the punch is like thunder. In the face of such huge power, even the 4th-level ferocious beast will be blasted into pulp in an instant. The sword shadow stirred, and Li Mu jumped and flew backwards. This is really the 80th floor. Li Mu cursed, wondering which saint was so tough. It's like a god of war. Everyone in the outside world couldn't help but feel a little worried when they saw Li Mu staying on the 80th floor. The fawn has slowed down. The shepherd must hold on. Break through the 80th floor of the creation myth. Brother, I think you should stop thinking about it. Do you know who left the 80-level martial arts will? Isn't it left by His Holiness? I'm overthinking you. There is news that the Wind War God Breakthrough Saint left his martial arts will on the 80th floor of the Shenwu Tower. Now Li Mu is facing a saint, and he is also the god of Wind War. Everyone's expressions froze, and they felt suffocated for a moment. Wind War God turned out to be left behind by Wind War God. That is a saint. Li Mu's eyes were red, he shouted loudly, and his physical strength increased to the extreme. Crazy thunder erupted, and the surging sword intent turned into a sea wave. There was constant roaring in front, and Li Mu continued to attack and tried desperately to resist the oncoming sword light. Now, under extreme pressure, Li Mu slashed out with his sword, and dozens of meters of sword light exploded and submerged everything, and everything the sword light touched turned into nothing. The roar like thunder continued to explode. The ground shook violently, and the surrounding space was vaguely distorted. Finally, the pressure in the space gradually weakened a lot. The substitute looked at Li Mu and smiled. Well done. Gradually, the avatar transformed into martial arts will import into Li Mu's mind. Li Mu's eyes suddenly widened with shock. It's him. Wind War God. Central Square outside the tower. There was a loud carnival. It's a success. The shepherd is a success. 81 floors. The shepherd successfully overcame the difficulties and set a new record. New God. New God. The god of shepherd will become a more dazzling saint than the god of war in the future. Everyone was extremely excited and had tears in their eyes because they witnessed the birth of a legend. Many old students were in a daze. All this is like a dream. Who would have thought that Li Mu, a new student, could create miracles in the Holy Court one after another? Checked into the Star Dormitory, walked through the heart refining pond, and then broke the record of Shenwu Tower. At this time, Li Mu's ranking was still rising, and in the blink of an eye he had reached the 85th floor. In the tower, Li Mu was very relaxed when facing the martial arts will behind him. After facing such pressure as Feng Zhanshan, the opponents behind him did not bring much pressure to him. On the contrary, it is not the venerable but the saint who follows. The will of the saint appears on the 80th floor, perhaps left behind intentionally by the god of war. Li Mu's wild hunting knife technique has been mastered to a very high level. With just a few blows, the martial arts will of those venerables was instantly defeated. On the 89th floor, there was a heavenly lord. Venerable people of grade 7 or above are called heavenly venerables by the world. The reason why it is called so is because the Lord Tian has the power to shake the heaven and the earth. The violent power swept over again, and this time Li Mu's face was very calm. Two different swords burst out, and Li Mu was like invisible killers fighting each other. Tianzun's stand-in was easily defeated by Li Mu. A 4th grade earth level martial arts and a heaven level body refining martial arts seemed to be enough. Starting from the 60th floor, the rewards changed. Li Mu obtained spiritual weapons, elixirs, and martial arts, including spiritual treasure level treasures. Heaven level body refining martial arts is obtained by defeating Wind War God. Star body refining technique. A rare body refining martial art that draws the light of the stars to practice and accept the baptism of the stars. After being refined to perfection, you can blow up the stars with your physical strength. At this time, Li Mu couldn't wait to go out to hunt ferocious beasts and improve his cultivation and martial arts realm. In the blink of an eye, Li Mu's eyes were in a trance. The world inside the 90-story tower turned into a world of true and false. And before Li Mu could react, majestic pressure and a mountain-like giant axe came towards him. Li Mu's eyes were enveloped by the flames of the giant axe. In an instant, a familiar figure appeared in the central square. It's the fawn. The fawn has come out. What's going on the 90th floor? Even the shepherd came out. It's a pity that if the shepherd breaks through the 90th floor, I'm afraid the entire Holy Academy's upper echelons will be shaken by this. Fawn, are you tired? Do you need some water? Everyone crowded around Li Mu, holding water and food and trying to pass it to Li Mu. At this moment, a delicate voice came out. You all get out of my way. What are you doing around my little junior brother? Yao Yao stayed in the sky, with a pair of dazzling wings flapping behind her. Li Mu stared at Yao Yao with wide eyes. Senior sister has turned into a bird. When everyone saw it, they all shrank their heads and moved out of the way. Yao Yao watched Li Mu take out various things. Junior brother, are you tired or hungry? Senior sister, we have everything here. Senior sister, I'm not very hungry. Let's go back first. Li Mu and Yao Yao left the crowded square. At this time, the venerables who were in the dimensional space were looking at Li Mu's leaving figure. After returning to the villa, Li Mu took a shower and felt relaxed. After coming out, Li Mu sat cross-legged on the sofa and practiced martial arts in the Shenwu Tower. The top 4 levels include 1 fingering technique, 1 sword technique, 1 leg technique, and 1 boxing technique. Li Mu basically stopped practicing after mastering the basics, because it is enough to leave the subsequent practice to the system. Next is the heaven level technique. At night, Li Mu sat cross-legged on the big rooftop with his eyes closed. There were many light spots in the surrounding void, and one of the dazzling stars fell into a beam of light, illuminating Li Mu. Li Mu's body trembled slightly, and his body was filled with a huge amount of energy. Just 1 minute later, Li Mu's body turned red and his body temperature exceeded 50 degrees. Finally, Li Mu couldn't hold on any longer. After quitting the practice, he gasped for air and looked very tired. It was so uncomfortable, it was like bathing in lava. However, my physical strength has indeed been greatly improved. The power of the stars seems to stimulate the cells when entering the body. Star body refining is too overbearing for the physical body. If Li Mu forcibly supported it, not only would it have no effect, but it would actually hurt his body. It's better to use the direct speed from the system. Li Mu stayed on the rooftop for a while, then returned to the room and fell asleep. In the starry sky, in a magnificent palace, a young man with his eyes closed opened his eyes. Star body refining. My martial arts will has been defeated. Feng Zhanshan smiled. It seems that another incredible genius has appeared in Kyushu, so that's good. The more geniuses there are in Kyushu, the more secure it will be for the future development of the situation. In the secret realm of ferocious beasts, many people felt a chill coming from their bodies as they looked at the corpses of ferocious beasts everywhere. What kind of grudges do the gods of fawns have with the ferocious beasts? This is basically to kill all the ferocious beasts in the secret realm. The shepherd is not going to get jealous, right? We should stay away first to avoid being affected. Brothers are rewarded with courtesy, let's hide for a while first. Li Mu was in the secret realm of bloody ferocious beasts, and his aura was constantly rising. Li Mu has now reached the 4th level of martial arts. The medium cultivation talent is still too slow for Li Mu. The sword flashed past, the beast split into 2, and the mountains behind exploded. Congratulations on killing the crazy ape and giant bear, and you will lose 3 years of cultivation. Li Mu exhaled a breath of turbid air. His breath was still rising and his cultivation level had not changed. It seemed that because he had killed too many, the beasts seemed to be avoiding him. Now it is not as easy as before to find a ferocious beast in the secret realm. Li Mu planned to continue in depth. At this moment, a bloody shadow stopped him. You haven't forgotten our agreement, right? Shui Kuang looked at Li Mu and said calmly. It's blood madness, people around him exclaimed, and many people heard the sound. Li Mu looked at him with strange eyes and said, why are you so obsessed with fighting between you and me? The blood maniac showed an evil smile. Because you are strong, only you can let me experience the pleasure of fighting. You are no match for me. Li Mu glanced at Shui Kuang. I know, but I want to see how many moves I can survive in your hands. Blood maniac said in a hoarse voice. Well, it looks like you won't give up until I fight you. Okay. Li Mu's eyes became sharp, and his calm aura suddenly became as violent as a ferocious beast. The sword was swung out, and the sword intent with thunder was tens of meters high and covered the blood maniac. The blood maniac's muscles tensed up, and a look of fear flashed across his face. Tear. The sword intention entered the body, blood flowers bloomed, and the figure of the blood madman flew out, covered in blood. If you want to rely on me to train, forget it. Because you can't stand a single move in my hand. Congratulations on defeating the blood maniac, losing 3 years of cultivation, and obtaining the blood maniac body. Seeing the bloody maniac covered in blood, everyone around him was shocked. One move at a time. The blood maniac can't even hold back a single move in front of the shepherd god. What kind of monster is Li Mu? How can his strength be so terrifying? I'm afraid Li Mu already has the strength of a chief. Shangguan Reichen will be Li Mu's opponent. Brother, you are looking for death. If you let Shangguan Reichen's people know about it, you will be finished. The man realized something was wrong and quickly shut his mouth. Shui Kuang reluctantly climbed up and looked at Li Mu with fearful eyes. He never expected that he couldn't survive even one move. He knew how terrifying Li Mu was, but he just didn't expect that his strength would be so terrifying. The overwhelming power did not give him any chance. I lost. Shui Kuang looked bitter and shocked. Li Mu glanced at it but said nothing and continued to hunt the ferocious beast. There were constant roars in the secret realm, and Li Mu himself turned into a butcher knife. There is no chance that the ferocious beast in his hands will survive. Many people in the outside world have speculated that there is some huge hatred between Li Mu and the ferocious beast. Perhaps a relative had died in the beast riot. No one knew that their conjectures were all empty talk. What Li Mu did was to quickly improve his strength. Let yourself stand at the top as soon as possible. 1 month later, Li Mu's body was already covered in a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood, and his body was stained with blood that could not be washed away. Even if the blood is washed away, the overwhelming murderous intent on his body is still there. Rain fell on Li Mu's face. Li Mu's determined eyes looked toward the sky. The mountains of corpses and seas of blood became insignificant before his eyes. In 1 month, he went from a 4-star martial artist to an 8-star martial artist. Even Li Mu himself didn't know how many ferocious beasts died in his hands. The smell of blood permeated the entire secret realm. At this time, in the square outside the secret realm, Li Mu's name was at the top of the list. In just 1 month, Li Mu surpassed Lao Shang, and his performance in the ancient secret realm even crushed Shangguan Reichen. How did he do it? Staying in a secret place for a full month is a torture both physically and mentally. Shepherd, he hasn't come out yet. I bet there is an incomprehensible hatred between the fawn and the ferocious beast. Everyone nodded in agreement. Finally, a bloody shadow appeared in everyone's eyes. The moment he appeared, everyone around him could feel the biting chill coming towards him. The overwhelming evil aura gives people the feeling of being placed in an abyss. The blood-colored eyes are frightening. Many people took a step back when facing Li Mu, looking in horror. That's Li Mu. How many ferocious beasts had he killed in this evil spirit? The students who entered later said that the secret realm had turned into a bloody world, and even the air smelled of blood. Everyone looked at Li Mu with chills in their hearts, and there was an invisible pressure that gradually broke down their psychological defenses. It wasn't until Li Mu left that many people gasped for air. It's so terrible. The fawn gives me the feeling of walking out of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. It's not a creature of the same level at all. Just standing there gives people a chilling feeling. The hunting conference is about to begin. I'm afraid there will be big changes this time. After returning home, Li Mu stayed in the bathroom for more than an hour. But no matter how he washed it, he still felt that the smell of blood on his body did not subside. I heard that the Holy Academy has made a new puppet, which is said to be able to withstand a full blow from the peak master. Li Mu was very curious about how terrifying his power was when he exploded with all his strength. You should be qualified to fight Yao Yao now. In the testing area, auras of different strengths and weaknesses emerged one after another. They are all looking forward to how far their strength will reach when they explode with all their strength. The puppets of the Holy Court do not judge their strength according to the standards of external forces. All powers are based on those genius-level figures in the Holy Academy. What the hell? How can my power only be 3 million T? This is unscientific. My power has also been reduced. This puppet seems to be able to offset part of the power. Appears to be made in a defensive posture. Then what's the use of testing like this? My strength is at least 4 million T. At this moment, a harsh roar exploded, and a burst of white smoke was seen rising from another area. Chu Shan, who was covered in muscles, punched the puppet one after another. Everyone felt the whole hall shake. The numbers on the puppet keep changing. 25,000,000 T. Hiss. 25 million tons. I'm afraid Chu Shan's punch can knock out the top martial arts masters outside. After all, he is 6th on the Shanghai ranking. And this is not all of Chu Shan's strength. Once his overlord body explodes, it may be able to reach 50 million tons. 50 million tons. Many people took a breath of cold air. 50 million tons. If the strength of a single ton is the same as that of the Grandmaster, I am afraid that even the Grandmaster may not be as good as Chu Shan. Tisk, it's only 25 million. Chu Shan, who has always been proud, is not very satisfied with this result. At this moment, commotion came from other areas. It's the fawn. The fawn is here. I'm curious about how powerful the fawn is. I don't know if the power of the shepherd is higher than that of Chu Shan. I'm afraid I can't say for sure. The strength of Mu Shen is mainly in martial arts and yuanli. In terms of strength alone, Mu Shen may not be comparable to Chu Shan. Li Mu didn't pay attention to the chatter around him. He stepped into the area and watched the puppet in front of him adjust his breathing. In an instant, a monstrous aura swept through the entire testing area, and everyone broke out in cold sweat almost at the same time. It was as if an invisible hand was holding their necks. This evil spirit. Chu Shan's eyes changed drastically, and his face gradually became serious. Bang! There was a loud thunder-like explosion, and the sweeping storm was like a violent hurricane. The puppet emits a burst of green smoke, and the numbers on its head keep changing. Everyone was shocked when they saw that number. Even Chu Shan opened his mouth wide and couldn't help but tremble. How is that possible? He has broken the limits of his body. 200 million tons. A full 200 million tons. Oh my god, I'm afraid the goddess of shepherd can break a mountain with one punch. Before the shepherd even punched the air, I felt a suffocating pressure. It was really terrifying. Yeah, I couldn't breathe just now, it seemed like the air had been sucked out. 200 million tons. Li Mu was very surprised. He probably guessed it was around 100 million. But I didn't expect it to reach 200 million. It's because of the star body refining technique. Within a month, his star body refining technique had reached the entry level, and several other heaven-level martial arts had also reached the entry level. At the 8th level of martial arts, Kuang Lei sword technique has reached perfection. The lightning flash is just one step away from perfection. Looking at the terrifying numbers, everyone felt their scalps go numb. You must know that this is Li Mu's purest power. If it has the blessing of martial arts, it will be even more terrifying. Chu Shan looked at Li Mu with fearful eyes. It's simply a ferocious beast in human form. Hunting contest. What kind of game is this? In the Scientific Research Institute, Li Mu's face was full of doubts. It's a big melee. The Holy Academy holds this competition every year to hone the students. Xie Given explained it to Li Mu, and Li Mu probably understood it. The hunting competition is where students hunt each other, and the defeated students will be eliminated. The top 5 students will be eligible to participate in the extraterritorial hunting competition. The extraterritorial hunting competition is a confrontation with the aliens from Kyushu who have always wanted to invade. In the competition between the geniuses of both sides, the older generation of monks are not allowed to interfere, and they do not care about life or death. Compete with geniuses from other races. Li Mu was somewhat interested. I heard that your power has reached 200 million tons. What state are you in now? Xie Given suddenly asked. 8-star martial artist. Xie Given looked at Li Mu in shock with wide eyes. 8-star martial artist. It has only been a short time since I entered school, and I have already achieved 8 stars. An 8-star martial artist with 200 million tons of strength, and that's without using the power of his bloodline. Xie Given couldn't imagine how terrifying Li Mu would be if he tried his best. A week later, the hunting competition began, and the students of the Holy Academy arrived at a bloody valley on the Yuanli Arc. The oncoming hot breath made many people feel uncomfortable. Dragon Valley is a place that is still stressful no matter how many times I come here. This hunting competition is more intense than last year. We must be careful, don't mess with some people, and try our best to get a ranking. Li Mu looked at the bloody valley, a strange color flashed in his eyes. It is said that Dragon Valley was transformed by the death of a dragon. As for whether it was a dragon or the true Dragon Holy Academy, there has never been a clear answer. When they arrived at the competition venue, all the students from the Holy Academy gathered here. As in previous years, the head instructor explained the rules and issued tokens. Once you encounter a life and death crisis and are defeated, you can use the tokens to leave. After the rules were read out, a huge formation in the sky enveloped the students. In an instant, all the students turned into points of light and teleported into the competition venue. Several venerables were hiding in the dimensional space and watching this hunting competition. Li Mu, who was teleported into the competition venue, looked at the desolate territory in front of him and his mouth twitched. This place is a wasteland. Looking around, there is a vast and desolate landscape, with nothing but valleys. Li Mu explored the surrounding environment and embarked on his own hunting journey. Not long after walking, Li Mu came to a pile of rocks. The scarlet creature covered in scales attracted Li Emu's attention. A ferocious beast, a huge monster that looked like a scorpion lay resting on a pile of rocks. The aura judged that it belonged to a 4th-level beast, but the pressure put on Li Mu by the scorpion in front of him was far beyond that of a 4th-level beast in the secret realm. The resting scorpion seemed to notice Li Mu, but the other party didn't seem to care. Think of Li Mu as a tiny ant, whose tail needle launches poisonous stings like a hail of bullets to attack Li Mu. Li Emu's face suddenly darkened. You look down on people, right? Dang dang dang. Li Mu, who was holding 2 swords, easily blocked the poisonous needle and at the same time turned into a bolt of thunder to kill the scorpion. The dazzling sword light covered the scorpion's sight. The scorpion stared, not understanding what was happening, and could not rest in peace. Congratulations on destroying the dragon-blooded scorpion. You will lose 3 years of cultivation and be rewarded with dragon blood. In an instant, an extremely domineering force filled his meridians. In an instant, Li Emu's aura rose, and the bloodline phenomenon bloomed again. However, this time the vision stopped within a few seconds. Dragon blood. Li Mu couldn't hide his excitement. He had rare dragon blood. If you get enough dragon blood, will you transform into a real dragon? Will that become the legendary god-level bloodline? His next hunting target will be the ferocious beasts in Dragon Valley. Passing through the valley, Li Mu saw a vast plain. As soon as I took a step, boom, fire exploded under his feet, and countless pieces of loess flew out. The chain explosion covered tens of meters in the surrounding area and lasted for 10 seconds before stopping. Several students hiding behind the rocks looked at it with deep disgust and said, "It should be eliminated. Even the shepherd should be injured when faced with such fire coverage. Shall we go and take a look?" "No, this is too risky. Let's just leave now. Anyway, I had no hope of eliminating the shepherd from the beginning. Let's go, it will be bad if the shepherd discovers us before being eliminated." Just when they were about to leave, they turned their heads and suddenly found a figure in front of them. Looking up at Li Emu's face, they were suffocated in an instant. Fawn. The sandbags covered their sight with his fists, and several people screamed and flew out at the same time. The 3 of them kept coughing, and they felt that their internal organs were tumbling from the blow just now. Seeing Li Mu approaching, a look of fear flashed in the eyes of the 3 of them. "Mu Shen, actually we don't want to attack you, we want to snipe other people. It's all misunderstanding, it's all misunderstanding." Li Mu looked at the 3 of them speechlessly. "Do you think I believe it? Put yourself out and save me the trouble." "No, Fawn, we just came in, it's so embarrassing to have it fall into a box on the ground." Li Mu was too lazy to talk nonsense and said coldly, "2 choices, either get beaten up by me, or you can eliminate yourself." Several people's breath was stagnant, and they all looked at each other, and then they all showed helpless smiles. "I said I would mess with no one but the shepherd. Now it's in a box." The sound gradually disappeared, and several people crushed their tokens and were eliminated. Congratulations on defeating. In an instant, Li Emu's aura climbed up to the Martial Arts Master 9 stars. Martial Arts Master 9 stars. The master is not far away. Outside the Dragon Valley, the instructors saw this scene and started discussing it. Be decisive and don't hesitate. The few punches just now have exceeded the speed of sound. Even we may not be able to react at that distance. Li Emu's combat awareness is very good. Although he attacked several unknown places, he spread his power to the inside and made him unable to fight. This is the gap in experience. I wonder what other surprises he can bring us. In the desert of Dragon Valley, Yao Yao sat on the back of a ferocious beast that looked like a lizard and looked like a dragon. "Big man, move faster, I have to go find my junior brother." "How long will it take for me to find my junior brother if you are so slow? If my junior brother is eliminated, I will be rude to you." Hearing this tone, the ferocious beast sped up its pace, and even showed an expression of despair. Congratulations on destroying the strange tree blood vine and losing 2 years of cultivation. Li Mu sighed lightly. There were not as many ferocious beasts in the Dragon Valley as there were in the Fierce Beast secret realm. He had only encountered 3 ferocious beasts until now. Without exception, no dragon blood was dropped. It seems that he was too naive. When Li Mu stepped into the desert, a strong wind blew by, and the desert sand rolled up. A hazy figure loomed in the smoke. Li Mu noticed the malice and his expression suddenly changed. At this time, Shangguan Reichen, who was not far away, was looking at him with a sneer, and even more disdain in his eyes. Finally found you. Shangguan Reichen smiled sarcastically. Seeing Shangguan Reichen and Li Mu starting to meet, many instructors began to look forward to it. Is Li Mu qualified to face the chief now? Mad dog, Li Mu confided. In an instant, Shangguan Reichen's face was distorted, and terror swept around him. Shangguan Reichen kicked off his back foot, and his body turned into an afterimage and rushed towards Li Mu. Boom! In an instant, invisible wind waves rolled up the yellow sand. The two of them collided continuously, and the yellow sand rolled down under their feet. The sound of the impact was like the roar of thunder. After several rounds of fighting, the two people jumped to the side and looked at each other solemnly. It seems you still have some strength. Shangguan Reichen's eyes were no longer as disdainful as before, there was even a hint of solemnity in his eyes. You're not bad either. You do have the capabilities of a chief. But, it was just a warm-up, and the real battle has just begun. Li Mu, holding the killing fang, rushed away violently, and waves of sand exploded around him. The dark sword light cut through the void, and the burst of sword intent made Shangguan Reichen's expression change. But even so, the sword in Shangguan Reichen's hand could easily block it. Knife intention. It's not easy. Li Mu's talent in martial arts is really too evil. Many teachers looked shocked when they saw the sword intent. Dang dang dang. Sparks kept bursting out, and the sound of gold and iron colliding kept echoing. The short blade raised high fell, and dust exploded when the knife fell. The sand beneath his feet suddenly collapsed, and spider web-like cracks actually spread. Shangguan Reichen flew out of the sand and got up in embarrassment. Looking at the calm-looking Li Mu, the anger in his heart burst out, and the sharp sword intent shot out of the sky and headed towards Li Mu. The bloodline exploded and the storm continued. The whistling sound in the dust was like the beating of war drums. Yaoguang 13 swords. Shangguan Reichen turned into an afterimage and kept attacking Li Mu. That's all you have. Li Mu, who seemed to be passively defending, his eyes red, suddenly burst out with an extremely terrifying power. The sword technique with the force of thunder was swung towards Shangguan Reichen. Tear tear, boom boom boom. The sound of thunder continued, and thunder filled the air with every sword strike. Ah! Shangguan Reichen shouted through gritted teeth. A white dragon flew out of his body, and a dragon sound echoed in all directions. Shangguan Reichen's combat power surged, and he shot away Li Mu's blade. But even so, Li Mu remained calm and put away his swords. A vast pressure of Yuanli swept out, and Li Mu formed a mountain and sea seal. Visions of mountains and seas are flying all over the sky, and rare and exotic animals on the mountains and seas seem to be alive, raising their heads and roaring. Seeing this scene, all the instructors became uneasy. Seal of mountains and seas. Master the realm. Master-level martial arts proficiency may not be achieved by a person at the master level in his lifetime. It will take at least 50 or 60 years, or even 100 years, to master Earth-level martial arts. Some people spend their entire lives just entering the entry level. Li Mu's martial arts talent is more terrifying than they imagined. Mastery of Earth level. Shangguan Reichen turned pale with shock. The majestic power exploded vigorously. Shangguan Reichen gritted his teeth to resist. But it was defeated by the Great Seal of Mountains and Seas, and the White Dragon was suppressed by the Great Seal of Mountains and Seas. The Great Seal of the Mountains and Seas suppressed it, and the roar resounded in all directions, shaking the entire desert. The smoke and dust went down, and the seal was in a deep pit. Shangguan Reichen's face was dusty and miserable, his body was covered in scarlet blood, and his aura was even weaker. No. Impossible. How could I lose as a native? Shangguan Reichen had a ferocious look on his face, feeling unprecedented humiliation and shame. Li Mu walked up to him expressionlessly. It seems that I am stronger. By the way, I actually only used 50% of my strength just now. Do you think that if I go all out, you won't be able to stop even one of my moves? Shangguan Reichen's pupils shrank. He was so angry that he spit out a mouthful of blood and passed out. Li Mu crushed Shangguan Reichen's token. Congratulations on defeating Shangguan Reichen, losing 5 years of cultivation, and obtaining the heaven-level martial arts shaking hand seal. Heaven-level martial arts. Li Emu's face was filled with joy. He was missing a powerful martial arts skill. Shangguan Reichen is really his great nobleman. If Shangguan Reichen knew what Li Mu was thinking, he would probably wake up in anger. Li Mu glanced around, a flash of lightning flashed past him and he disappeared. In addition to the ferocious beast, the students participating in the competition are also his prey. Many students in Long Valley were eliminated one after another, and some students hid in hidden places in order to be able to move for a longer time. Currently, those who dominate the Dragon Valley are almost all those on the Shanghai ranking, as well as the remaining 4 chiefs. At the same time, Li Mu solved a vicious beast that looked like a dinosaur. A huge plume of smoke and dust exploded a few hundred meters away from him. In a flash, Li Mu turned into an afterimage and disappeared. Beast. In the stone forest, Chu Shan was panting and covered in blood. In front of him was a ferocious beast as big as a mountain. This ferocious beast is comparable to a 5th-level high-level ferocious beast, especially in the Dragon Valley, and is even more difficult to deal with than the ferocious beast in the secret realm of the school. He spent a lot of effort to deal with this vicious beast. However, before he had time to be happy, a figure in front of him froze him. Chu Shan felt like crying but had no tears in his heart. Even God would not let him go. Why did he meet this monster here? Li Mu looked at Chu Shan in front of him and felt a little familiar. After thinking about it for a while, I came up with it. Should you do it yourself, or should I do it? Li Mu said lightly. Chu Shan looked ugly and gritted his teeth and said, Li Mu, I just fought with a ferocious beast and my physical strength has been greatly reduced. Can you give me a chance to rest? Yeah, no problem, Li Mu said nonchalantly. Chu Shan was stunned when he heard this. What does this mean? Really give him a chance. About 2 hours later, although Chu Shan's condition had not returned to its peak, it was not far behind. Have you rested? Li Mu, who was sitting on the rock, looked at Chu Shan with a faint smile. Chu Shan took a deep breath and asked, Thank you for giving me the opportunity. You're welcome, the ending is the same anyway. Kindness. Chu Shan frowned and didn't understand what he meant. Suddenly, a surging force came towards him. Boom! The void exploded with a punch. The token's defense mechanism protected Chu Shan, but at the same time, he was also eliminated from the Dragon Valley. People in the studio were stunned. I remember that only the protection mechanism of Grandmaster level combat power tokens will be activated. I can't say that completely, but Li Emu's attack can actually activate the mechanism of the token. The pure power of his body is terrifying. In the square outside Longgu, Chu Shan looked around with a blank expression. Am I eliminated? Chapter 51. As time went by, more and more students fell at the hands of Li Mu. Now when everyone saw Li Mu, they wished they could get out of a crack in the ground. In addition to the God of Shepherd, Li Mu has another nickname. That is Big Devil Li. There were shouts in the stone forest. Run, Devil Li is here. Brothers, rush out with me. Tear, a sword light that was 3 to 4 meters high swept across. The gravel flew and the stone forest exploded one after another. Many people flew to the rock walls and fell down. Congratulations on defeating Lin Ang and losing 2 years of cultivation. Congratulations on defeating Song Chang and losing 2 years of cultivation. Congratulations. It's not that they don't have the courage to face Li Mu. The reality was too cruel. Their team of more than 50 people beat Li Mu in a group. There are less than 10 people left now. Under this sword light, I'm afraid there are not even 5 people left now. Too cruel, too cruel. The eliminated students all felt horrified. The shepherd was really merciless. This horse-riding man can be said to be dominating alone. Even those on the Shanghai ranking will not take the initiative to find participating students. When facing Li Mu, they seem to be seeing a predator. Li Mu is a hunter. Naked crushing. We students would be veritable monsters and geniuses outside. Now facing Li Mu, he is forced to look like this. It's not good if this continues. Will the students' mentality be affected? How about we remind you? Several instructors had this idea, but at this moment an old voice broke the atmosphere in the studio. If they can't even take this step, then they are unworthy students and will never be able to grow into independent strong men. Everyone looked startled, and hurriedly shouted respectfully to the old man, Old Hai. Ebby looked calm and silent. He saw hope in Li Mu. Even the god of war had never been as dazzling as Li Mu. Perhaps others suspected that Li Mu's physique was the same as that of the god of war, the original body of the god of war. But for Hai Lao, even with the body of the god of war, it is impossible to practice earth-level martial arts to a proficient level at such an age. This child will change Kyushu in the future and change the current situation. In the Dragon Valley, Li Mu passed through a narrow valley and came to a bloody plain. The chi and blood here are rich, and blood-colored gas visible to the naked eye spurts out from the ground. Li Mu could feel the restlessness of chi and blood in his body. For ordinary people, this was a holy place for cultivation. But at this moment, a man with short hair and a resolute face walked over sternly. "Get out of here." The man's face was stern, as if he was born with a face made of ice. "Why?" Li Mu looked calm. He could feel the considerable pressure on the man. Even the 5th Chief Shangguan Reichen didn't give him this feeling. "I occupy this place." "Yes, but in the world of martial arts, fists are used to reason. Are your fists strong enough?" Li Mu showed an evil smile. Shi Jian's face changed slightly, and he looked at Li Mu carefully and asked in a deep voice, "What is your name?" "Li Mu. It turns out it's you." Shi Jian's eyes changed drastically, and he soon showed an excited look. "I've heard rumors about you for a long time. I'm Shi Jian, the 4th chief." Li Mu's eyes also changed. "Turns out to be the 4th chief. I have heard about your strength for a long time, and I have always wanted to try it myself. Now I have a chance." Outside the Dragon Valley, everyone looked extremely excited and nervous inside. The shepherd is finally going to fight the chief. If the shepherd can defeat Shi Jian, then dealing with Shangguan Reichen is just a matter of raising his hand. "No, brother, you still don't know the news just now." "The news just now?" The man looked at the other person in confusion and asked, "What's the news?" "Shangguan Reichen has been eliminated by the shepherd." "What?" This news caused an uproar in the entire square. "When did it happen? How come we didn't know that Shangguan Reichen has been eliminated? This is impossible. Isn't he the first to be eliminated?" "That's not the case. It was those unlucky guys who came out first and saw it." Although Mu Shen defeated Shangguan Reichen, Shi Jian's strength is not on the same level as Shangguan Reichen, especially his physical strength is almost comparable to that of a king-level ferocious beast. Li Mu and Shi Jian looked at each other, and he was also looking forward to Shi Jian's strength. "I heard you have good physical strength. How about we compare our physical strength?" Shi Jian has absolute confidence in his physical strength. Known as the ferocious beast, he has never lost to anyone in terms of physical strength. "You want to compete with me in terms of physical strength?" "Kindness." Li Mu looked strange. "Good." In an instant, 2 lines of lois exploded, and the ground suddenly collapsed and spread many cracks. The 2 sides collided with their bare hands, and majestic power roared out. The 2 fists collided. Shi Jian, who had always been confident in his physical strength, suddenly changed his expression after meeting Li Mu's fist. Li Mu's physical strength was actually stronger than him, and even somewhat difficult to resist. Bang! Shi Jian flew out and landed on a stone pillar, looking at Li Mu in shock. "How many tons of physical strength do you have?" "Not much, just 200 million tons." When Shi Jian heard this, it seemed as if something was stuck in his throat, and he hesitated and couldn't say a word in shock. 200 million tons. Even he only has 130 million tons. A 5th-level ferocious beast. With his strength, he could probably kill the ferocious beast with one punch. Seeing that Shi Jian was stunned, Li Mu relaxed his posture and shouted, "Hey! Are you ready to fight?" Beat. The 2 collided again, and the void shook continuously. The rocks where the 2 met exploded and turned into powder. The stone pillars could not withstand the power of the explosion and collapsed instantly, and deep pits appeared on the ground with roaring sounds. The 2 figures on the cliff collided with each other, and the cliff collapsed instantly with the vibration. "Cool," Shi Jian shouted excitedly, his face flushed with excitement. This was the first time that pure physical strength was weaker than Liafang, and he could clearly feel it. As time went by, Li Mu's strength became stronger and heavier, and even the punch just made his arm numb. "I can't match you in terms of pure physical strength. Now it's time to use all your strength. Bring it on." Li Mu's expression was calm and he looked very relaxed. Shi Jian saw that Li Mu was still careless and not angry. He knew how powerful the opponent in front of him was. Li Mu's reputation is definitely not blown out of proportion, he definitely has that kind of strength. Suddenly, a pressure even more terrifying than that of a martial artist at his peak erupted, and the little bit of yuan power leaked made Li Mu's expression change. You should not be a grandmaster. Kindness. Then why do you have yuan power? Li Mu looked puzzled. Could it be that Shi Jian had condensed yuanli seeds like himself? Although I am not a grandmaster, I am above the peak martial arts master. I can be considered a half-step master. Although the seeds of yuanli have not yet been condensed, they have already taken shape. If you become a half-step master, you can also have thin yuanli. Shi Jian explained seriously. So that's it. Li Mu understood this when he heard it. After the words fell, the battle between the two broke out again. Shi Jian became more and more frightened as he fought. Li Mu's strength is constantly changing every time they fight. Especially in terms of martial arts, Li Mu can be called a monster. Even if a 5th-grade martial artist has learned the perfect realm, his power cannot be underestimated. Boom! The void exploded again, and Shi Jian was like a kite that had lost its string and hit a stone pillar and was submerged in the ruins. Li Mu watched. He didn't think Shi Jian would be defeated so easily. 3 seconds later, the ruins exploded, with rubble flying everywhere. The gray-headed Shi Jian looked miserable, but the fighting spirit in his eyes remained undiminished. Suddenly, his sharp eyes changed, their color gradually turned into gold, and a faint golden glow appeared in the corners of his eyes. That is, Li Mu was stunned subconsciously. Suddenly, a dazzling beam of light burst out from Shi Jian's eyes, and it reached Li Mu in just a few tenths of a second. At the critical moment, the dazzling thunder shook. Thunder moves 3000. Thunder exploded from the void, and the speed of the 9th-grade body mastery level was already comparable to that of thunder and lightning. The body technique has reached the level of proficiency, but fortunately Li Mu escaped. 9-level body skills. Master the realm. Oh my god, how many martial arts skills does Li Mu have to master? This kid is so terrifying. None of the original Wind War gods were so evil. This child may not have the body of a war god, but it is not impossible that he is a monster due to his simple martial arts talent. It's really scary. It's hard to imagine that this is a freshman who has just entered school. The students outside Longgu were completely stunned. The battle between Li Mu and Shi Jian was so fierce that it made people's blood boil and their blood surge. In their fantasy, it would be great if they also had such strength, so that they would be the ones standing on the stage of the times. But now they see this scene and realize the reality completely. The realm of mastery of the 9th-level body technique. Li Mu has mastered enough martial arts, and the perfect state of martial arts is already a state that many people have not been able to achieve so far. Talent in spiritual practice might be able to make up for it, but it's almost impossible in martial arts. The winner is determined. At this time, Shi Jian gasped fiercely, and the stinging pain in his eyes gradually distorted his face. Blood kept flowing from the corners of his eyes. I lost. Shi Jian covered his eyes with a hint of helplessness in his tone. Li Mu was a little curious about Shi Jian's eyes and asked, "What's wrong with your eyes?" "Golden eyes. Although I don't have any special physique, my eyes have changed." Golden eyes. The sudden golden beam just now really made Li Mu feel the crisis. Shi Jian's strength is far ahead of Shengguan Reichen's, and their strength is not at the same level at all. The difference is obviously just one person. If he hadn't been a 9-star martial arts master, he might have been quite weak against Shi Jian. Goodbye. Shi Jian crushed the token and eliminated Long Ji. Congratulations on defeating Shi Jian and losing 3 years of cultivation. Li Mu was a little disappointed. He actually liked the golden eyes, but unfortunately the system didn't drop them. I don't know if I will get any rewards next time I defeat the opponent. Over time most of the students have been eliminated. A small number of people are hiding in one place, hoping to last longer or at least not to be eliminated from the Dragon Valley early. Although the pressure in Dragon Valley is uncomfortable, it will increase the strength of qi and blood in this environment. It's a very good place to practice. After Li Mu defeated Shi Jian, he hunted some ferocious beasts and obtained a small amount of dragon blood. The improvement brought by the dragon's blood made his throbbing feeling more intense, as if something was calling him. Li Mu followed his own feeling and stopped at a plain with a relatively different terrain. It's down here. Li Mu looked at his feet, forming a seal of mountains and seas. Yuan force gathers, and the great seal of mountains and seas condenses from the void. Everyone outside looked puzzled when they saw this scene. What does Li Mu want to do? Boom! The ground shook, smoke and dust rolled up, and the ground beneath Li Mu's feet suddenly collapsed. Thick fog-like smoke rolled over the surroundings. Li Mu, who was in the center, suddenly changed his expression, and a huge pressure came towards him, making him breathless. Hold head high. The sound of the dragon's cry echoed throughout the holy court, and the expressions of all the student tutors in the holy court changed drastically. At this time, Hai Lao could no longer stand and disappeared into the studio in a flash. Xie Given looked at the terrifying creature looming in the smoke and dust, and felt a chill rush to the sky. Dragon. It's a dragon. At the same time, Li Mu stared blankly at the behemoth in the abyss in front of him. The vast underground space seems to be another world, and the huge creature in front of you occupies the terrain. It was as if his body occupied the entire underground world of Dragon Valley. Li Mu gradually stabilized his breathing, and cold sweat broke out on his forehead. He was cautious and did not dare to act rashly. This is a dragon. Following the throbbing in my heart, I didn't expect to find a dragon. I don't know if it's a real dragon or a dragon. After there was no movement for a long time, Li Mu plucked up the courage and gradually approached. Those dark scales were like indestructible armor. Li Mu's heart beat crazily after seeing the 10,000-foot-long body. Nothing happened. Could it be a dragon corpse? Just when he was doubting, there was another pressure beside him that made Li Mu's nerves tense. He's dead. Li Mu looked around and saw that it was Ebby. It's already dead. Is this a dragon corpse, Mr. Hai? Li Mu took a breath and asked softly. Yes, he is already dead. A dragon is comparable to a saint's dragon. Comparable to a saint. Li Mu's pupils shrank slightly. The saint can already be said to dominate the starry sky, and no figure more terrifying than the saint has yet appeared in Kyushu. The saint represents the pinnacle. Then, how did he die? Li Mu looked straight at the dragon corpse and murmured dully. Hai Lao on the side remained silent, staring at the dragon corpse. Then more and more sages appeared in the dragon bone, and the huge pressure made it difficult for Li Mu to breathe and his face turned red. Hai Lao frowned immediately when he noticed Li Mu's strangeness. Take it easy. There are still juniors here. Only then did the venerables notice the ugly-looking Li Mu and quickly put away their pressure. Li Mu felt better at this time. Crush the token and go back. Hai Lao looked at Li Mu and said kindly. Li Mu nodded, crushed the token and teleported out of Dragon Valley. He knew that apart from this dragon corpse, it was almost impossible for the game to continue. When they got outside, Li Mu found that everyone had a look of shock on their faces. After all, it was a dragon. Even if it was a dragon, it was the first time for all of them to see it with their own eyes. The hunting competition is terminated, all students leave Dragon Valley. Ebby's voice resounded throughout Longu, and then all the students in Longu were teleported out. Little junior brother. The teleported Yao Yao came straight to Li Mu. Senior sister. Li Mu showed a faint smile. Yao Yao held Li Mu's arm and frowned. Junior brother, I just suddenly felt a very disgusting aura in Dragon Valley. A very unpleasant smell. Li Mu raised his head and glanced at the dragon corpse. Sister, are you talking about him? Yao Yao frowned as he looked at the dragon corpse on the screen, feeling a sense of disgust in his heart. That's right. It's him. It's because of Qingluan's body. According to mythology, dragons and phoenixes are naturally at odds with each other. Perhaps this is why Yao Yao hates dragons. After the hunting contest ended, the students all left Dragon Valley on the Yuanli Arc. Research Institute. Xie Given was already waiting for Li Mu and Yao Yao at the door. Teacher. Li Mu called to Xie Given. Xie Given looked at Li Mu with a complicated expression. You kid really can bring constant surprises to people. How on earth did you discover the dragon corpse underground? Li Mu said perfunctorily. I just feel that this place is a little different. At that time, I felt a unique pressure underground, so I wanted to give it a try. Actually, it's all luck. Xie Given smiled helplessly. You have made a great contribution this time. I guarantee that the Holy Academy will decide to reward you with a heaven-level martial arts. Heaven-level martial arts. Li Emu's eyes suddenly lit up. Although he does not lack heaven-level martial arts, who would dislike heaven-level martial arts too much? After discovering the dragon corpse, the students in the Holy Academy immediately blocked the news to avoid attracting prying eyes from foreign races. Although aliens live in another world, aliens have actually penetrated Kyushu in recent years. Even in the Holy Courtyard, the Venerables were a little suspicious of whether aliens had infiltrated in. The significance of the dragon corpse to the Holy Court and Kyushu is of great importance. Although it is a dragon, it is full of treasures. The scales of the dragon can even be used to make saint armor. Not long after the dragon corpse incident, Li Mu was brought into the temple by Ebi. All the venerables in the temple were staring at Li Mu closely. Young heroes have a formidable future. The future of Kyushu depends on young people like you. The corner of Li Mu's mouth twitched slightly. Your Majesty, your words are serious. Hai Lao looked at Li Mu kindly and said, Li Mu discovered that you have great merits in the dragon corpse this time. After we unanimously decided that you can enter the temple and choose a heaven-level skill, and after you become a master, you will be made with dragon scales. A weapon. Li Mu's expression changed drastically and he was a little excited. Is there such a good thing? Weapons made from dragon scales are beyond the realm of martial arts. Li Mu, thank you seniors. Kid, you deserve this. Li Mu, come with me. Hai Lao led Li Mu up the steps and entered the temple gate. The door opened and a strange blue light hole emerged, and Li Mu stepped into it. In the blink of an eye, his whole body felt like he was suspended in the air, and Li Mu was shocked when he saw the scene in front of him. The interior of the temple was like a starry sky, with countless tiny stars floating past him. This is the temple. Li Mu collected his emotions and chose Tianji martial arts. In the starry sky, stars with golden light are stars with martial arts. But if you want to obtain martial arts, you still need to look at Li Mu's strength. Tianjin Divine Technique. Li Mu suddenly noticed a heaven-level martial arts. Imitating the magic created by Kunpeng has the power to reproduce Kunpeng. Kunpeng is a legendary beast. Who created this martial arts? Could it be that he has seen Kunpeng? Without saying a word, Li Mu punched the restriction, and the stars floating around were instantly pushed away by the air waves. His punch did not break the restriction. What a turtle shell. It seems that it is not that easy to break this restriction easily. Yuan Li was released, and Li Mu formed a mountain and sea seal. The great seal of mountain and sea crashed down, causing the entire temple's starry sky to shake. It's not broken yet. Looking at the intact restraint, Li Mu's eyes suddenly widened. Now he was somewhat doubting whether the group of old men outside the temple couldn't afford it. It seems that I can only use my full strength. Li Mu's usually lazy eyes became extremely sharp, like a magic sword about to be unsheathed. Tian Yan Ba Dao. The dazzling sword light seemed to cut the starry sky in half, and the sword light collided with the restriction and burst out with bright brilliance. Click. A crack exploded in the restriction, and the crack spread rapidly. Suddenly, the ban exploded like a glass ball. The stars he had seen before turned into a martial arts and appeared in front of Li Mu's eyes. Li Mu recalled martial arts in his mind, and after confirming that it was correct, he left the temple. Outside the temple, Ebi and other venerables were waiting outside. Come out. Everyone noticed the fluctuation at the exit and looked at it at the same time. Hai Lao looked at Li Mu with a smile on his face and asked, have you chosen yet? Kindness. Which one? Tianjin Divine Technique. Hai Lao's face changed slightly, and he said in a complex tone, I didn't expect that you would acquire this martial arts. Back then, we couldn't break the restrictions even though we tried our best. Tianjin Divine Technique is a heaven-level high-grade martial arts. Top-grade martial arts. Li Mu's pupils shrank slightly and his breathing became rapid. The upper level of heaven level is almost the end of martial arts. As for those above this level, I am afraid it can no longer be called martial arts. Go back and practice hard. The future of Kyushu depends on young people like you. Yes, Ebi. Just as Li Mu was preparing. Suddenly the entire holy courtyard began to shake violently with a loud noise. Several entrances to the secret realms of ferocious beasts in the holy courtyard turned blood red, and all the ferocious beasts in the secret realms ran out. Hai Lao and others looked solemn, and they all disappeared from Li Mu's sight. Seeing the out-of-control ferocious beast in the secret realm, Hailao and others had extremely ugly expressions. Logically speaking, it is impossible for the secret realm of fierce beasts to get out of control. Every year, they will guard against the secret realm of fierce beasts to prevent accidents. The current situation in the Holy Court may be due to a spy. As expected, people of foreign races infiltrated the Holy Court. There was chaos in the Holy Courtyard. When the students saw the ferocious beasts that had escaped, their expressions changed dramatically, and their panic affected their strength. A fierce beast rushed out in front of the ancient secret realm, but one of the students didn't pay attention. The vicious beast took one bite, splitting the body into two and tearing it into two halves. Li Mu left the temple in the ark and saw the chaotic temple with an extremely solemn expression. Before he was given time to think, an extremely terrifying pressure suddenly enveloped the Holy Court. Several wormholes appeared in the sky above the Holy Courtyard, and several people in cross-dressing stepped out of the wormholes. Li Mu looked at those people, their pupils tightening, and felt extremely horrified. Because these people are all venerable people. Are those people all aliens? Hailao saw the dramatic changes in the eyes of those people. The venerables stopped a few people and said with gloomy faces, Wenren Shangfeng turned out to be you. A foreign lord actually sneaked into Kyushu. What is going on? Long time no see, old man Hai. You natives of Kyushu are not worthy of possessing something like a dragon corpse. Why don't you give these things to our Tianwu community and I will keep them for you? Bah, a bunch of despicable and shameless people. Don't even think about it. Seeing that there was about to be a battle between the warriors at the venerable level, Li Mu did not dare to stop and quickly headed towards one of the secret realms where the ferocious beasts were out of control. After recovering from the panic, the students of the Holy Academy began to fight bloody battles with the ferocious beasts. The students, covered in blood, gasped for air. These beasts are like crazy, they can't be killed at all. It's not an option to continue like this endlessly. Where are the tutors at the school? Where have they all gone? At the same time, in the auditorium of the Holy Academy, the instructors noticed something strange outside and all showed angry expressions. That guy Shu Maolin turns out to be a foreigner. If this continues, the Holy Court will be destroyed. Ah, this ban. The mentors tried their best but still couldn't break the restrictions that trapped them. Xie Given's face was extremely ugly, and his expression was extremely gloomy as he looked at the ferocious beasts flying in the sky. Li Mu, Yao Yao. At this moment, there was a loud explosion in the sky, and a large, continuously sunken hole suddenly appeared in the sea of clouds. The continuous explosion of thunder stirred people's hearts, and the suffocating pressure was like a heavy rain washing down. It's the elders. Did the venerable foreigners also sneak into the Holy Court? How long have they been lurking? If the mentors haven't appeared yet, something must have happened. Although the students of the Holy Academy are extremely powerful, they are still afraid of these endless ferocious beasts. Without the presence of a mentor, there seems to be no backbone, and it is difficult to stabilize morale. Suddenly, a monstrous pressure overwhelmed all directions, and bloody lightning burst out from the entrance of the bloody secret realm. One of them, a beast as big as a mountain, came out. King-level ferocious beast. The students of the Holy Academy all screamed in horror. This king has finally come out. The ferocious beast transformed into a human form and looked at the students of the Holy Academy with a fierce look on its face, a cruel smile on its lips. Many students only felt a burst of bloody light covering their eyes, looking at the spinning world in a daze. The head just rolled to the ground. Seeing this scene, countless people felt horrified. King-level ferocious beasts are not something they can deal with. Unless they are those on the Shanghai list. Jia, just killing these people is not enough for years of grudges. Li Mu looked at the chaotic situation in front of him, his expression extremely gloomy. This is simply like hell on earth. Was that pressure just now caused by the king-level ferocious beast coming out? Where are the mentors? Li Mu looked around, and suddenly one of the students was defeated by a ferocious beast and was about to be torn into pieces by the besieging ferocious beast. Rumble. With a flash of lightning, a bolt of thunder fell from the sky, and the besieging ferocious beasts were instantly blown away, roaring angrily at Li Mu. Fawn. The man shouted excitedly. Let's go. Leave this to me. Shepherd, let us also come to help you. With you here, we can definitely kill these beasts. Li Mu glanced indifferently, with a heartless look on his face. You're just getting in my way here. Go quickly. Several people's faces turned red. Although they were unwilling to do so, they still left honestly. In fact, Li Mu asked them to leave just because he didn't want them to notice anything strange. After all, it is possible to break through at any time during the killing process. Start harvesting. Li Mu was cold and ruthless, and the vicious beast that attacked was instantly turned into rubble, and its remaining limbs and flesh were scattered all over the sky. The system beeps continuously. Li Mu's aura increased, but he still did not break through to the master level. He was not surprised. If it were really easy to break through to the Grandmaster realm, wouldn't it be a big deal? Li Mu, who was holding a double blade, continued to kill, as if he was a ruthless harvesting machine. The ferocious beasts that escaped from the secret realm had no resistance in front of him, and faced Li Mu's ferocious beasts, they could only massacre one-sidedly. Li. At this moment, a phoenix cry came from not far away. Li Mu's expression changed and he looked into the distance, only to see the shadow of Qingluan covering the sky, and then another wave of king-level ferocious beasts pressure swept out. Yao Yao. Yao Yao's strength should be able to deal with king-level ferocious beasts, but Li Mu was not at ease and still planned to take a look. Li Mu released his Yuan power and formed the mountain and sea seal. The great seal of mountains and seas crashed down, the ground cracked rapidly, and the smoke and dust rolled up covered the sky and crushed the surrounding area. Congratulations to Kang Yu Demon Wolf, you have lost 2 years of cultivation. Congratulations on killing the Earth Demon Bear and losing 3 years of cultivation. Congratulations on killing Fengyan Electric Leopard and losing 2 years of cultivation. Congratulations. Li Mu was about to leave when suddenly a violent force filled his body. The Yuanli seed in his body was extremely restless for a moment, and Li Mu's whole body turned red, as if he had just been boiled in boiling water. Kacha. The Yuanli seeds burst into cracks, and a surge of terrifying Yuanli exploded from Li Mu's body. A golden seed of Yuanli was hidden in Li Mu's dantian. Li Mu felt the huge power he possessed, and his face suddenly became excited. Grandmaster. He has surpassed the master level. Compared with before, Yuanli is like a pool of water turning into an endless river. Li Mu controlled Yuanli, flew in the air, and turned into a stream of light to find Yao Yao. Like a royal sister, Yao Yao stepped into the void and looked at the king-level ferocious beast with an extremely indifferent expression. The fear in the eyes of the ferocious beast that turned into a charming man gradually faded away, and it looked at Yao Yao greedily. The bloodline of the legendary beast, if I eat you, I will definitely be able to break through the shackles and become the legendary holy beast. The holy court really gave me a big surprise. The injured students behind were covered in blood and looked at Yao Yao worriedly. Senior Yao Yao, can he win? If he can't stop this king-level beast, all of us will die from that beast. Where have the mentors gone? If this continues, we will die. There were constant roars from above, and the battle at the venerable level itself was earth-shattering. If they are not careful, they will be involved in the aftermath. Once involved, the result will be a dead end. The green flames constantly collided with the king-level ferocious beasts. The void was constantly vibrating, and all the students felt that the ground beneath their feet was shaking. Everyone around looked at the battle in front of them in shock. This is not a fight for us to get involved in. This is the real monster of our holy academy. He is clearly not a martial artist, but he can fight against the king-level ferocious beasts. Maybe senior sister Yao Yao can really defeat the king-level beast. Not necessarily. Haven't you noticed that senior sister Yao Yao's face is getting worse and worse? This huge strength will only quickly consume her physical strength. He can't sustain this state for long. When everyone heard this, their hearts were suddenly shocked. At this time, the king-level ferocious beast looked ugly and was very frightened. Qingluan Phoenix body possesses the power of a divine beast, and that kind of coercion itself can crush the superiors of ferocious beasts. Coupled with Yao Yao's fierce fighting power, he had already crushed that king-level ferocious beast in a short period of time. But now Yao Yao's breathing was obviously greater than before, and she was gritting her teeth and persisting. Ha 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 ha, little girl, you can't last much longer. Your lives are ultimately in the hands of this king. The king-level ferocious beast turned into Qingluan and the green flames dissipated instantly. At this time, there were beads of sweat on Yao Yao's forehead. She looked at the person behind her and said in a hoarse voice, let's go, I'll hold him here, you go find the teacher quickly. As long as we find the teachers, the Holy Academy can still be saved. Want to leave? It's too late for you. The king-level ferocious beast grabbed Yao Yao with greedy eyes. He couldn't wait to taste this delicious food. At the critical moment, a dazzling lightning appeared in the sky, a thunder column fell from the sky, and the sharp knife intent swept across all directions like a wave. Tear, a bloody arm rose into the air, and the king-level ferocious beast's expression was distorted and it howled miserably. After the dazed Yao Yao came back to his senses, looking at the familiar figure in front of him, his heart was suddenly shocked. Li Mu turned around and looked at Yao Yao with a smile on his face. Senior sister, are you okay? Everyone was stunned when they saw Li Mu, who was like a savior coming to the world. The king-level ferocious beast looked ferocious and roared angrily, human. I'm going to kill you. Li Mu frowned, with a cold look on his face. Noisy. Zheng. The dazzling sword light covered the king-level ferocious beast, and the thunder sword intent swept away like a storm. The ferocious expression of the king-level ferocious beast suddenly faded away, revealing a look of horror. PFF'd. Under the gaze of everyone, a head flew up high, and the king-level ferocious beast looked at Li Mu unwillingly. How so? The head rolled to the ground, and a king-level beast was killed so easily by Li Mu. Congratulations on killing the bloodthirsty Tiger King and losing 5 years of cultivation. Li Mu's aura increased, but he still maintained the realm of a first-grade master. After all, his cultivation talent is still average, and it took hundreds of years to reach the master level. At this moment, the world seemed to have fallen into dead silence. Everyone looked at Li Mu in shock, and even when they wanted to say something, it was as if something was stuck in their vocal cords. Junior brother Yu. The look of shock in Yao Yao Mei's eyes did not diminish. Killing a king-level ferocious beast with one sword was something she never expected. Even if she consumed part of the king-level ferocious beast's physical strength, it was only a negligible amount. Even if the master takes action, the king-level ferocious beast cannot be killed so easily. Senior sister is just a beast, she is too noisy. You can take a rest and leave this to me. Li Mu put Yao Yao down and looked at the ferocious beasts surrounding them with a cold expression. Tian Yan Ba Dao. One sword annihilates the darkness, and the endless sword light slaughters the ferocious beasts. Blood swayed around like a rain of blood, and this knife seemed to be able to collapse the mountains. The ferocious beasts didn't even know what happened, so they died under the light of the sword. This brutal scene made it difficult for many people to adapt, especially the sight of the mountains of corpses and seas of blood in front of them was nauseating. The air was filled with the smell of blood. But Li Mu had a calm look on his face, as if he had long been used to this scene. They are just a bunch of beasts, not humans. If you don't kill them, more people will die in the holy court. Grand Master. One of them looked horrified and said with a trembling voice. Li Mu has become a master. Grand Master. The people around were shocked, but after carefully feeling Li Mu's pressure, they all froze. This pressure is undoubtedly that of a master. Li Mu is actually a Grand Master. How is that possible? Isn't he a martial artist? Did he achieve a breakthrough in this short period of time? When did the Grand Master achieve such a breakthrough? The sound of the system was endless, and Li Mu's aura gradually climbed up, finally reaching the realm of a second-grade Grand Master. The Yuan power expanded several times, and Yuan power was flowing through the meridians all over his body. Although everyone was shocked, they quickly came to their senses and looked excited. But before they had time to be happy, another figure descended from the sky. There is indeed something wrong with the plan. I didn't expect you to be an extra factor. Shu Maolin looked at Li Mu with an indifferent expression. The students who originally saw Shu Maolin's eyes light up now looked at Shu Maolin with trembling pupils. Teacher Shu, what are you talking about? What's the plan? Where are the other mentors? Seeing Shu Maolin, who was different from usual before them, everyone had a bad feeling in their hearts. Li Mu looked at Shu Maolin with an indifferent expression and said solemnly, "You must be the traitor." Shu Maolin did not answer Li Mu, but instead said strangely, "You guys, why don't you take action?" Poof! A student in the crowd stared in disbelief at the blade that penetrated his chest. He turned back and looked at the man with grief and anger. Lu Mang. Why? Lu Meng's cold expression remained unchanged, and he turned the blade and completely cut off the man's heart. The students were dumbfounded when they saw this scene. Not only Lu Meng, whom they usually considered a friend, but also his brother attacked them at the same time. Lu Meng wiped the blood from the blade and said indifferently, "The geniuses in Kyushu are nothing more than this." "Li Mu," Shu Maolin shouted, and then showed a smile. "It is a pity for a genius like you to stay in Kyushu, why not come to our world of divine martial arts? With your talent, you will definitely have a place as the overlord of the divine martial arts world. Compared to the divine martial world, Kyushu is just a barren land." Fawn. The students were all nervous at this moment, as the aliens tried to win over Li Mu. If Li Mu agrees, it will be an unimaginable disaster for Jojo. The divine martial realm. Li Mu took a deep breath and said nonchalantly, "I will go, but not now. Sooner or later, I will kill the divine martial realm and let you know that Kyushu has never been a barren land." The cold blade pointed at Shu Maolin. Shu Maolin's face gradually became stiff and cold, and a monstrous murderous intention burst out. "In this case, we can't let you live. You pose too great a threat to the world of divine martial arts. There must never be another person in Kyushu who is more terrifying than the god of war." Earth-shaking big handprint. The void shook, and wind and clouds rolled up in the sky. Shu Maolin flew high into the sky and stayed below zero. An ancient seal fell from the sky. The suffocating pressure made people unable to move. Heaven-level martial arts. Li Mu's expression did not change. He held two blades, and unleashed his boundless sword intent to baptize the surroundings. The released sword intent retracted sharply, accumulated a little, and burst out with a dazzling cold light. Heavenly sword. This knife was very fast, faster than time, and no one knew what happened. The vast sword energy destroyed everything, and the sword light was like a rainbow hanging upside down in the void. Tear. A crack appeared in the void, and the dimensional space was cut open by Li Mu. "This sword can cut the sky." Poof. The sword's intention is vague, and in front of this devastating sword light, the so-called earth-shaking handprint is just like paper. The sword light was turned into nothing at the slightest touch. Shu Maolin's expression was dull, like a sculpture suspended in the void, and a trace of blood spread rapidly from head to toe. Shu Maolin fell from the sky with his body split in two. The aliens who took action all had expressions of horror on their faces, extremely fearful. Li Mu's breath fluctuated slightly. This sword required all the energy and spirit to reach its peak. Entering the state where man and knife become one, this kind of knife can be said to be the most perfect knife. When Li Mu is strong enough, this knife can even cut through the stars. A shocking ditch in the sky was exposed to everyone's eyes. The sky is cut open. This is the strength of the shepherd god. Give me hundreds of years, I'm afraid I won't be able to catch up with the level of a fawn. Brothers, even if the fawn kills the traitor, let's not embarrass the holy court. Kill these lurking spies. The people whose morale was originally low rose to a peak because of Li Mu's sword, and their morale instantly rose. People who had no intention of fighting originally showed a strong fighting spirit in their eyes. "Lu Meng, go to hell," one of them shouted loudly, and the silver gun in his hand was like a dragon coming out of the sea. Poof! One blow penetrated Lu Meng's heart. Kill. The students' eyes were red and they were killing the alien spies. Counterattack. Here we go. 10,000 meters high in the air, Hai Lao and other sages from other races stopped. This sword intent. Wenren Lingyu's eyes showed a hint of surprise. There is such a genius in Kyushu. This kind of strength is probably only possessed by those direct descendants of the Shenwu world. I didn't expect that apart from Feng Yao, there would be someone in your Kyushu realm. Hai Lao and other venerables were equally shocked. They didn't expect that Li Mu turned out to be a grand master. He was obviously just a martial artist before entering the temple. Why did he suddenly reach the master level? But seeing Li Mu's terrifying strength is good news for the Holy Academy. Wenren Lingyu, stop talking nonsense. I and others will definitely keep you here today. But, right now, Wenren Lingyu showed a strange smile. Old man Hai, it's over. Today all the younger generations of you in Kyushu will die here. As soon as the words fell, an abyss-like pressure enveloped the holy court. Hold head high. The roar of the dragon rang in the sky, and the dragon corpse that was originally dead actually came to life at this time. His huge body rushed into the sky, and a pair of cold dragon eyes overlooked the holy court, as if it was the supreme master. How is that possible? What on earth did you do? How could the dragon corpse come back to life? Hai Lao lost his voice in shock and looked extremely ugly. Wenren Lingyu laughed loudly and looked at Hai Lao sarcastically. That's why we say you Kyushu people are just indigenous people. Today, your holy temple will be destroyed. Kill them. The students of the Holy Academy looked at the terrifying creatures in the sky with fearful faces, and their legs were shaking when facing those cold dragon eyes. Live. The dragon corpse is alive. It's over. Everything is over. We can't win. Whether it's us or the Holy Court, we will all die. The moment the dragon corpse appeared, the morale of the Holy Academy was instantly suppressed to its peak. The situation of the beast that was originally under control collapsed again. Shui Kuang stood on the mountain of corpses, looking at the huge dragon corpse with an ugly expression. How the hell are you going to fight this? Where on earth have the mentors gone? The moment the dragon corpse appeared, all the students' hopes turned into despair. Facing the legendary mythical creature, they didn't even have the courage to look directly at it. Li Mu looked at the resurrected dragon corpse in horror, his face extremely solemn. Now there's trouble. Teacher Jia, do you want it? The instructors in the auditorium were shocked to see the strange phenomenon on Jia Given's body. Qinglian vision. This is a sign of breaking through the venerable. Teacher Xie, is he going to break through the venerable? If the venerable were to trap them, the restriction might really be able to be broken. At this time, a middle-aged man with a solemn face came over and frowned. I'm sorry, are you serious? Do you know the consequences of doing this? I know, but I can only do this. You can see the situation outside. If I don't do this, the Holy Court will be destroyed. If these seedlings die, how will we fight against the divine martial arts world in the future? Tang Feng looked at Xie Given's firm gaze and sighed silently in his heart. Xie Given's eyes narrowed. A surging energy poured into the body, and the next moment the extremely terrifying power of Yuanli swept through the auditorium. Boom! Venerable realm. Break! The venerable's coercion swept across the hall, and all the teachers were breathless and looked at Xie Given with excitement. Xie Given opened his eyes, and his eyes were filled with light. This is the power of the venerable realm. Very powerful indeed. Pity. There was a hint of regret in Xie Given's eyes. The next moment, a silver spear appeared in his hand, and the silver spear thrust into the air, and the roar of the dragon could be vaguely seen. Boom! The turbulent energy overflowed, and the storm washed the hall. Click! Click! The restrictions that trapped the mentors exploded. Xie Given put away his silver gun and looked at the instructors seriously. Students in the secret realm are left to you. The instructors froze and nodded seriously. Xie Given held the silver gun and turned it into a silver beam of light and rushed into the air. The dragon corpse roared into the sky and was about to fall down with its claws hooked. In an instant, an incomparable force pressed against the dragon's claws, and Xie Given stared at the dragon's claws and shouted. The surging yuan power burst out, and a silver gun shadow swept across the void. Boom! The dragon's claws bounced away with a bang. This sudden scene made everyone stunned. Hai Lao looked at Xie Given and was stunned subconsciously, but then his eyes revealed a sad emotion. Li Mu looked blankly at Jia Given, who was confronting the dragon corpse. Teacher. Xie Given's eyes flashed with silver, and he said with a cold expression, it's forbidden to go ahead. Hold head high. The dragon corpse roared angrily, soared into the sky, and descended from the sky to attack Xie Given again. A bit of cold light arrived first, and then the gun came out like a dragon. Thalong. The tip of the spear glowed with silver, gathering energy to sweep through the wind and clouds. The silver spear roared away like a silver dragon. The battle between one man and one dragon shook the sky. At this time, no white clouds could be seen within thousands of miles of the Holy Court. Teacher, he has broken through the realm of the venerable. Li Mu looked at Jia Given, who was fighting with the dragon corpse, in shock. A first-grade venerable can actually fight against a dragon corpse. The teacher is also a monster. But teachers should not only be great masters with such combat power. At this time, Li Mu noticed the sad look on Yao Yao's face. What's wrong with you, Yao Yao? Li Mu asked anxiously. Yao Yao's eyes were red, looking at Jia Given in the air. He choked with sadness. Teacher, he is going to die. What? Li Mu looked at Jia Given in the air with contracted pupils. Then the unsealed instructors came to the secret realms of ferocious beasts everywhere. When they saw the appearance of the instructors, the students were extremely excited. It's the mentors. Mentor and the others are here to save us. The one fighting the dragon corpse is Teacher Xie. Teacher Xie has broken through the venerable. We are saved. It's unbelievable that Teacher Xie, a first-grade venerable, can actually be on par with dragon corpse. Logically speaking, Teacher Xie's talent shouldn't have been trapped in the Grand Master for so long. Wenren Lingyu in the air looked at Jia Given, who was fighting the dragon corpse, with horrified eyes. There is such a terrifying person in the holy courtyard. With such combat power, is he another Wind War god? What should Lingyu do now? If the situation changes, we'd better withdraw first. Wenren Lingyu's face was extremely ugly. If he was dragged on like this, the venerables and saints in Jojo would react. That is a dragon corpse. Wenren Lingyu was unwilling, but under the current situation they could only give up the dragon corpse. No, at least there is something else to do. Wenren Lingyu's eyes flashed out of the corner of his eye, and his eyes suddenly fell on Yao Yao and Li Mu. Yes, a cold smile appeared on Wenren Lingyu's lips. Withdraw. Several people were looking for opportunities to escape, and Hai Lao looked at them with an ugly expression. He knew that it was impossible for them to keep Wenren Lingyu, and it was a good thing that they had withdrawn now. Wait a minute. At this time, Hai Lao suddenly noticed the direction of Wenren Lingyu, and then his pupils shrank and he shouted angrily, Wenren Lingyu. Stop it. Old man Hai, accept the gift from our Shenwu realm to you. At the same time, Li Mu felt a cold murderous intention, and he looked at it with a horrified expression. I saw Wenren Lingyu murdering Li Mu and Yao Yao with a ferocious smile on his face. It's too late. Hai Lao's eyes were about to burst. If something happens to either Li Mu or Yao Yao, he will be the sinner of Jojo. Boy, if you want to blame me, I blame you for being born in a barren land like Kyushu. The venerable's blow was extremely terrifying, and he pushed his palm horizontally, and the void instantly twisted into a twist. The oncoming violent force made Li Mu tense up and break out in cold sweat. You can't just sit and wait for death. Boom. The power of blood. Heaven-level bloodline phenomena were all over the sky. Li Mu's aura expanded several times, and a surging yuan power burst out. A yellow shadow flew out, and an ethereal sound spread across the cloud tops. Kunpeng waved his wings and crushed towards the giant sky palm. Boom. There was an earth-shattering explosion, and everyone covered their ears and looked in pain. The void was like a broken mirror, and huge waves invaded the holy courtyard. Under the lingering power, some people even had their legs shaking. You brat. Wenren Lingyu was extremely angry, but in her heart she was horrified. If you already have such combat power at the master level, how will you be able to become a saint in the future? Wenren Lingyu. Hai Lao let out a loud roar and killed Wenren Lingyu with boundless murderous intent. Yuan Li turned into a huge wave and surged away, just like the Tianhe waterfall crushing away. The sound of a sword resounded throughout the holy courtyard, and the sword shadow filled the sky covering Wenren Lingyu. Die. Wenren Lingyu's expression changed drastically, his eyes full of horror. The remaining people wanted to stop Hai Lao, but they were restrained by other sages. Wenren Lingyu, I will use your life today to sacrifice the fallen students of our holy academy. The sword shadows in the sky are surging and powerful, and each sword shadow has the power to split mountains and break mountains. Poof! Wenren Lingyu couldn't resist, and a bright blood flower spattered out. A head flew high and rolled to the ground. Seeing this scene, the students in the holy academy were extremely excited. A venerable one. They Jojo killed a venerable foreigner. Good. Many students clenched their fists and were extremely excited. The companions who died in this turmoil can rest in peace. Boom. Suddenly there was another explosion, and everyone ran away after hearing the sound, only to see Qi Wen standing in the void, holding a silver gun and clasping his hands behind his back. Like a god of war, he controlled the dragon corpse condescendingly, and a majestic force tore off the black armor scales of the dragon corpse. In an instant, the majestic power was like the might of heaven collapsing. In an instant, the dragon corpse hit the ground like a comet and fell into the Dragon Valley. The Dragon Valley shook, and billowing smoke filled the air. After the smoke dispersed, the dragon corpse lost its fierce aura and turned into a cold corpse again. Teacher Xie also won. The crisis in the Holy Court has been resolved. Have the foreign fools seen it? No matter what plots and tricks you use, the Holy Court will still win. You are a bunch of losers. Losers. The students who had lost their brothers and comrades shouted angrily at the venerables of the foreign race at the top of their lungs. The remaining venerables from the foreign race looked extremely ugly. They actually lost. This is simply a disgrace. Let's go, Tianxiang. If we don't leave, it will be too late. If those saints from Kyushu react, all of us will die. A younger venerable looked down at the Holy Court angrily. Walk. The venerables were so powerful at this time that they would not give any chance to the venerables of other races. They took advantage of the victory and pursued it. But the foreign sages all acquired a weapon. Wu Bao's violent energy was released all of a sudden, and the expressions of several pavilion elders suddenly changed. Boom! The weapon exploded, and the deafening explosion sounded as if a hole had collapsed in the sky. By the time the pavilion elders came to their senses, the foreign sages had already disappeared into the holy courtyard. At this time, the ferocious beasts were still raging throughout the holy court, although the instructor took action. But there were too many ferocious beasts escaping from the secret realm. Even if the entrance was controlled, there were still many ferocious beasts wreaking havoc throughout the holy courtyard. The venerables immediately sealed several secret realms that were out of control, and then the instructors suppressed the remaining ferocious beasts in the holy courtyard. At this time, Li Mu was among a group of ferocious beasts and quickly drew his sword when his instructors were about to take action. The sword was slashed out, and the terrifying sword intent enveloped the entire street. The ferocious beasts were unable to resist in the face of this sword intent. Wherever the sword intent passed, there were mutilated limbs and flesh everywhere. None of the ferocious beasts survived. The countless knife marks on the ground were shocking to see. A tutor who had just arrived was filled with shock when he saw this scene. Grandmaster. Li Mu's aura has reached the Grandmaster. Has he reached the Grandmaster? How is that possible? The people hiding behind Li Mu had their eyes widened with horror on their faces. Instant kill. A complete instant kill. This is just one knife. The remaining knife intent gave people the feeling of a sharp blade grazing their skin. It feels strangely cool. That's awesome. The shepherd is so powerful. Who else in the Holy Academy can compete with the shepherd? Resist the venerable's blow and kill dozens of ferocious beasts with one sword. Who can achieve this kind of strength? I declare that from today onwards I will be the Fawn's #1 henchman. The sound of the system was endless, abundant energy poured into the body, and a weak storm formed around Li Mu. The people around you feel like they are about to be sucked into the abyss as soon as you get closer. Call. Li Mu let out a breath. The peak of the second grade. Unfortunately, it was not him who killed that venerable man. However, with his current strength, it is indeed a bit fanciful to want to kill the venerable. Li Mu looked around. The situation is under control and the secret realms are sealed. This disaster is finally over. In the realm of Grandmaster, he is now considered a strong man. After the situation was stabilized and under control, the Holy Court counted the number of casualties. In this disaster, the Holy Academy lost nearly 40 talented disciples. Several of them were even the most distinguished ones on the Shanghai ranking. They all died heroically in battle due to exhaustion while protecting others. Although the disaster was over, the brief excitement was followed by suppressed sadness. In the Academy of Sciences, Li Mu looked at Xie Given in shock and said with a trembling voice, "Teacher, how did you become like this?" The Jia Given in front of him was completely different from when he fought against the dragon corpse before. If the previous Jia Given was the god of war of the Holy Court, then the Jia Given in front of him now is like a dying old man, like a candle in the wind. Xie Given had gray hair, a face full of wrinkles, and his originally bright eyes turned cloudy. The breath is also extremely weak. Isn't the teacher a breakthrough venerable? Why did it become like this? Teacher. Yao Yao's tears kept falling like soybean grains. Xie Given rubbed Yao Yao's head and looked at Li Mu with a kind smile. Li Mu, come here. Teacher. Li Mu walked up to Qi Wen. Li Mu's pupils shrank when he saw Given pull out two extremely extraordinary short blades. You can tell at a glance what material this short blade is made of. The venerable divine weapon made from dragon scale armor, This is my last gift to you. The venerable divine weapon. Li Mu's mind was shaken, and for a moment he felt the two short blades in his hands were extremely hot. Choose a name, Xie Given said with a faint smile. Li Mu put away his emotions and looked at the short blade in his hand seriously, and said in a deep voice, Dragon Tooth. Dragon Ya, what a good name. Although Dragon Tooth is currently just the divine weapon of the venerable, it is made using the scales of a dragon. In the future, if you can find the materials to make a sacred weapon, you may be able to upgrade it to the level of a sacred weapon. You may even have the lotus dragon tooth that you own to become a sacred weapon. Possibility. Li Mu's heart was slightly shaken, and he felt extremely hot when he looked at the dragon tooth in his hand. Ahem. Not long after he finished speaking, Xie Given began to cough violently. Teacher, Li Mu shouted worriedly. Why on earth did you become like this? You have become a venerable. Li Mu was very puzzled. Although Xie Given was already a venerable, why did he still look so old? That was caused by my forced breakthrough. In the early years, I was injured and my Yuanli was damaged, which made it impossible to repair the rupture of the Yuanli seeds. At that time, it would be impossible for me to break through the venerable. The price we paid for this breakthrough was our lives. Although I am a venerable, my time is running out. Why? At this moment, the sound of old sighs reached the ears of several people. Hai Lao looked at Xie Given with a complicated expression. With your talent, if it hadn't been for that incident back then, you might have become a sage long ago. With your talent, it is possible to break through to become a saint in the future. Xie Given smiled bitterly. Old Hai, that's all in the past. It turns out that Xie Given was the first chief of the Holy Court. He broke through to become a master at a young age and traveled the world on behalf of the Holy Court. Challenge the top leaders of other martial arts schools. At that time, Xie Given was a rising star, and the elders of the Holy Court were all optimistic about him. As long as nothing unexpected happens, Jojo will be able to welcome a saint again. But the accident happened after all. The Church of Pain is the largest evil martial organization in Kyushu. They not only have Grand Masters but even venerable figures. Even in the starry sky of Kyushu, there are strongholds of the Church of Pain. Because of Jia Given's appearance, the Church of Pain felt threatened, so they deployed 10 masters to surround and kill Given. That battle can be described as landslides and earth-shattering. At that time, Xie Given was only a third-grade master, but he single-handedly killed 5 masters of the Church of Pain. Later, the Grand Master of the Holy Academy arrived, although Xie Given's life was not in danger. But it left wounds that cannot be healed. Has no one discovered the headquarters of the Church of Pain? Li Mu asked in confusion. There are venerables and saints in Kyushu, so why can't the Church of Pain be eradicated? Hai Lao shook his head. The masters who were captured alive died on the way back to the Holy Court. They have a terrible curse upon them. Li Mu fell silent after listening. Church of Pain. He never expected that Shuo's power would be so great. The Church of Pain has always been about spreading pain. Only when the whole world is in pain will the world usher in madmen. Those in the Church of Pain are a bunch of lunatics. Traveling around the world, Li Mu glanced at Xie Given, a look of determination flashed in his eyes. Ebby, I want to challenge the #1 chief and become the leader of the world. Xie Given and Hai Lao's pupils shrank slightly and looked at Li Mu in disbelief. No, Li Mu, with your qualifications, there is no need to do that. It was only because of my youth and arrogance that I was targeted by the Church of Pain. You shouldn't be exposed to those people. Your talent is even more evil than mine. If the people of the Church of Pain know about it, they will deal with you at all costs. With your talent, you will definitely be able to become a saint in the future. You don't need to do such risky things. Xie Given immediately objected. Ebby agreed. Your talent is even more terrifying than the original Wind War god. With the foundation of the Holy Academy, we can fully train you to become a venerable person. There is no need for you to do such risky things. Li Mu looked at the two of them seriously and said, Ebby, teacher, the flowers in the greenhouse will never grow. This disaster in the Holy Court is an example. In daily actual combat, hunting ferocious beasts is not enough to make them grow. Only after experiencing a real battle will they transform. Not long after, you will notice their changes. What is missing in the Holy Court now is the test of blood. The Holy Court protects them very well. This. Ebi was silent. Everything that happened this time was indeed a wake-up call for them to face emergencies. Most of the students in the Holy Academy are unable to adapt, even those on the Shanhaibang list. Excessive protection will only limit their potential. Li Mu added. The atmosphere was deadlocked for a long time, and Ebi sighed helplessly. I see, maybe you are right, they should participate in some actual combat. It seems it's time to contact those guys. In addition to the Church of Pain, there are actually many unstable factors in Kyushu. The Grand Master can protect Kyushu, but the main problem currently facing Kyushu is the divine martial arts world. That is a battle that only His Holiness can participate in. What about challenging the first chief? Li Mu asked again. The first chief disappeared several years ago. Missing. Li Mu was shocked and stunned when he heard the news. Yes, the position of the first chief has actually always been vacant. The reason why it has always been vacant is because the second chief has been waiting for the first chief to come back. If you want to become the first chief, you must defeat the second chief. Of course it shouldn't be a problem with your current strength. The second chief. Then Ebi, can you let me meet the second chief? No problem. Late at night, Li Mu was in the villa, comprehending the mystery of Tian Kun's magic. His Tianqun magic has not yet reached the entry-level level, but it can withstand a blow from the Venerable. Li Mu would not be able to imagine the power of Kun's magic that day. The first time he used Tianqun's magic, Li Mu found that there were still many deficiencies in his mastery. For example, the control of Yuanli and the control accuracy. At this moment, the doorbell outside the villa suddenly rang. Li Mu walked out of the villa in confusion and was a little surprised to see the petite figure at the door. Sister, why are you here? After opening the door, Yao Yao walked in and looked at Li Mu seriously. Junior brother, can you stay in the holy courtyard? Kindness. Li Mu frowned in confusion. Yao Yao lowered his head, his voice a little hoarse. Not long ago, the two senior brothers also lost contact. Now that the teacher is like this, the whereabouts of the two senior brothers are unknown. Junior brother, can you stay in the Holy Academy? I don't want to lose anyone else. The whereabouts of the two senior brothers are unknown. How so? Sister, please come in and sit down first. Li Mu opened a bottle of fatty happy water to Yao Yao, and then asked the two senior brothers for details. It turned out that the two senior brothers had already become masters and left the Holy Academy. They remained as students of the Holy Academy and only went out to practice. Not long ago, the two senior brothers lost contact after entering an unknown secret realm. It is said that this secret realm appears out of thin air in Donghai City. After the two senior brothers entered, the secret realm was suddenly closed, and the entire entrance to the secret realm turned scarlet. There are countless secret realms in Kyushu, and some secret realms will appear out of thin air in every period. Some of these secret places are wild jungles, some are deserts, and some are hot hells. It's as if these secret realms are independent little worlds. The small world in the holy courtyard has emerged in recent years. There are countless ferocious beasts among them, and some even have king-level ferocious beasts lurking in them. And the reason why they didn't dare to appear rashly was because of the Lord of the Holy Court. Lost in the secret realm. Usually when this happens, it's a disaster. Senior sister, I have reasons why I have to leave the Holy Court, but I promise senior sister that I will come back safe and sound. Yao Yao looked at Li Mu with wide eyes, and after a long time he said doubtfully, really? Real. Then let's hook up. Good. Li Mu and Yao Yao Lago made a promise. Looking at Yao Yao's leaving figure, Li Mu couldn't help but smile. Needless to say, Yao Yao's innocent character is really endearing. I heard that the shepherd is going to duel with the second chief. So fast. Does the shepherd want to sit in the first position? The first chief has been vacant for so many years, and the second chief is unwilling to take the position. With the strength of the shepherd god, becoming the first chief is not a problem. I heard that Mu Shen became the first chief in order to represent the Holy Academy and travel around the world to challenge the Martial Arts Academy in Kyushu. What? Walk around the world? Does the shepherd need to take such a big risk? With the shepherd's talent, I don't know how many forces are watching him. Since there are foreigners in the Holy Court, no one can guarantee that there will be no foreigners sneaking into Jojo. We cannot guess what the fawn is thinking. Let's go quickly. If we go late, we might miss it. When the students of the Holy Academy heard the news, they rushed to Shanghai Square non-stop, for fear of missing this exciting contest. At the same time, Shanghai Square was already crowded with people, and the students sitting in the seats were very excited. They are very much looking forward to the next contest. Mu Shen and the second chief. It is said that the second chief is also a grandmaster, and his fighting power is not comparable to that of ordinary grandmasters. In this chaos in the Holy Court, the second chief actually stood out in another area. He protected hundreds of students and killed countless ferocious beasts. However, most people still think that Li Mu will win this battle, because it has only been a few months since Li Mu entered school. Moreover, Li Mu also blocked the Venerable's blow. In the battle room, the young man with the broadsword at his waist had a sharp look on his body. He closed his eyes and rested, and his whole body stood there like an old pine. Crunch! The door to the battle room opens. Zhang Shan slowly opened his eyes, and the sharp intention instantly rushed to Li Mu, and his whole body was like a sharp blade. Li Mu frowned, and his body also exuded a sharp meaning. Although the two of them haven't taken action yet, there is already a storm in the battle room. Zhang Shan looked at Li Mu and said solemnly, "You are qualified to represent the Holy Court in the world." "That's natural. As long as I defeat you, I can leave the Holy Court," Li Mu said with a faint smile. "Why do you want to leave the Holy Court?" "I like fighting." Zhang Shan narrowed his eyes and looked at Li Mu for a long time. "I understand." The next moment, the scene in the battle room changed. Li Mu and Zhang Shan were in the vast plains. Suddenly, an astonishing sword intent swept out. Countless blades of grass flew up, leaving smooth blades. Zhang Shan's energy and spirit have climbed to the peak, his aura has been sublimated, and the pressure of the master is raging. Man and knife unite. Li Mu's pupils shrank slightly. "I didn't expect anyone other than him to reach this realm. I only use one move, this one. Also the strongest." Li Mu nodded seriously, looking very serious. Swish! Pull out the knife. The dazzling sword light rises from the ground and rushes away like a sickle and a weasel. The battle room was shaking, and the sword was like a storm. Huge ditches appeared in the transformed territory, as if Li Mu and Zhang Shan were really in a plain. Li Mu adjusted his breathing, and violent yuan power swept around. It turned out that it rushed into the sky, and Li Mu took the mountain and sea seal. Yuan Li built the Great Seal of Mountains and Seas, and its astonishing power shook the entire plain. Visions of mountains and seas emerged, and the creatures on the seal seemed to come alive. The unique pressure and vision caused Zhang Shan's expression to suddenly change. Perfect state. The faces of everyone outside were frozen. They wanted to say something, but something seemed to be stuck in their throats. Perfect state. Is the world crazy or am I crazy? The perfect realm of Earth-level martial arts. I'm still just getting started. Looking at the entire Holy Academy, there are only a few people who have reached perfection in Earth-level martial arts. Even among the pavilion elders, there are only a few who have reached perfection in Earth-level martial arts. Tears streamed from the eyes of Hai Lao and other pavilion elders, and they looked extremely excited. Outsiders may be shocked that Li Mu's mountain and sea seals have reached a state of perfection. Hai Lao and Jie Lao looked at Li Mu as if they had seen the future of Kyushu. Boom! The Great Seal of Mountains and Seas suppressed it, and the sword light that was tens of meters high looked like paper when facing the Great Seals of Mountains and Seas. At the slightest touch, it exploded and turned into nothing. The sharp knife intent swept around, like countless flying knives shooting out. Everyone in Shanghai Square felt a slight shock, and the shock in everyone's eyes never faded. They knew the end was decided. There is no suspense in this contest. After the smoke and dust dispersed, Zhang Shan looked at Li Mu with a complex expression, revealing a wry smile. "You're such a monster. It's really a tragedy for someone who is in the same era as you. This is your time. You win. The position of first chief is yours." Li Mu smiled without saying a word and walked out of the battle room. The moment Li Mu walked out, the entire Shanghai Square resounded with a roar like a huge wave. Fawn, fawn, fawn. Everyone's faces turned red with excitement, and their blood boiled as if they had witnessed the birth of a legend. Hai Lao and the other pavilion elders looked at each other and flew to the center of the venue, arriving next to Li Mu. "Old Hai." Li Mu looked at Mr. Hai and shouted respectfully. "Are you ready?" Hai Lao looked at Li Mu and said seriously. Li Mu nodded seriously. Hai Lao looked at all the students in Shanghai Square and announced in a loud voice, I declare that Li Mu will represent the Holy Academy in the world. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.